A unicorn awakens in an ancient castle, aware of the course of fate, gradually discovering her destiny in the world of Little Pony Maria. She intersects with the main character group and has her own storyline. Chapter 1. Awakening from the depths of the castle. Eternal Freedom Forest. Sunlight pours through the ruins and falls into the castle. A unicorn slowly opens her eyes. After stretching her stiff body, she steps out of her small sleeping room. Standing in front of the ruins, the unicorn feels a surge of emotion. Her long horn emits a faint blue light, sensing a small town nearby. She slowly walks toward the town. Just as she exits the Eternal Freedom Forest, she encounters a light yellow Pegasus with pink mane. Her cute mark features 3 butterflies. A white rabbit is perched on her back, indicating she's likely a child who loves animals. Hello, may I ask if you are a resident of that small town? Could you please tell me how to get to the library? The unicorn inquires as she approaches the Pegasus. The Pegasus is stunned by the approaching unicorn, not just because of her social anxiety, but because the unicorn is simply too beautiful. With snow-white skin, flowing aquamarine mane, and deep blue eyes, she gazes at her. Hello. The unicorn waves her hoof. The Pegasus and the rabbit on her back seem frozen in place. Yais, hello. The Pegasus's voice is particularly soft. This moment, the rabbit on her back nudges her. Hello, I am Zhuyu. May I ask how to get to the library in the small town? Zhuyu asks gently, feeling the Pegasus in front of her is shy enough to want to burrow underground. Oh yes, it's by the big oak tree. Thank you, Angel. And thank you, shy Pegasus miss. Zhuyu nods lightly and heads toward the small town. However, after Zhuyu thanks Angel, the shy Pegasus seems to have transformed, becoming extremely excited. Oh, hello, I'm Ro. Are you going to Ponyville? There's a big golden oak library there. Can you understand animal speech too? Ro is thrilled, as it's the first time another pony can understand what Angel is saying. Ro forgets what she was originally going to do and follows Zhuyu. Hello, Ro. I just arrived here and need to check some information at the library. As for what you said about understanding animals, yes, I can understand some. As they speak, they have already arrived in the small town. Hi, Ro, who is this? An orange pony with a yellow mane, wearing a cowboy hat and carrying apples, approaches them. Hello, I'm Zhuyu. I just arrived in Ponyville. Zhuyu nods slightly. Applejack. Zhuyu is new to Ponyville and is going to the library to look up some information. Ro adds. Nice to meet you, Zhuyu. I'm Applejack, glad to know you. Applejack introduces herself warmly. Ro, Zhuyu, I have to deliver these apples. You two go to the library. If you have time, we can chat more. Zhuyu, welcome to Sweet Apple Acres. Applejack waves her hoof and leaves with the apples. On the way to the Golden Oak Library, Ro asks many questions about animals. Angel has quietly climbed onto Zhuyu's back during the conversation. Zhuyu doesn't mind after all. Animals are all cute. Yes, they walk. They encounter an extremely cheerful pony who, upon seeing Zhuyu, gasps and zooms away. This surprises Zhuyu. That was Beaky. She's a bit enthusiastic. Don't take it to heart. Ro explains gently, so Zhuyu doesn't think Beaky is a strange pony. Zhuyu nods, indicating she understands. Finally, they arrive at the Golden Oak Library. Pushing open the library door, the walls lined with books excite Zhuyu as a qualified bookworm. Unread books are like delicious food she has never tasted. She can't wait to dive into the ocean of knowledge. Soon, the library is left with just Zhuyu. Zhuyu tilts her head. It seems she has come at just the right time. Chapter 2. Pinky's welcome party time passed slowly, and the sky gradually darkened. Zhuyu walked leisurely along the streets of Ponyville, passing by the town hall, the fountain, and the furniture store. At that moment, she stopped in front of a pink cottage filled with the sweet scent of cream. This must be the candy house that Rarity mentioned. Her nose told her that there was delicious food here, and plenty of it. A faint blue magical light emanated from Zhuyu's horn as she sensed the surroundings. Fortunately, she had stored some coins in her space before falling asleep. Otherwise, she would be facing a situation with no food right after waking up today. After hesitating for a moment, Zhuyu knocked on the door of the candy house. The door creaked open. However, Zhuyu did not see any ponies. The inside of the house was dark. Suddenly, bright lights turned on. Zhuyu, welcome to Ponyville. Many voices echoed, with a few particularly close. Hello everyone. I'm Zhuyu. Nice to meet you all, Zhuyu said with a smile as she opened her eyes. Oh, hi. I'm Pinkie Pie, the pony who saw you and Rarity yelling this morning and then ran away. Pinkie Pie bounced over to Zhuyu's side. You already know Applejack and Rarity. This is Fluttershy, who has a carousel dress shop here and is a fantastic designer. This is Rainbow Dash, who lives in Cloudsdale. She is the fastest flying pony. Pinkie introduced the lavender-maned unicorn and the cerulean Pegasus with a rainbow mane. Hello, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Zhuyu greeted in turn. Thank you. Pinky, for preparing such a surprise party. You're really enthusiastic. Oh, Princess of the Universe. You are so beautiful, Zhuyu. You must come to my dress shop. I want to design a gown for you. Fluttershy exclaimed, clearly excited. Zhuyu was just too beautiful, and her inspiration was flowing endlessly. Hi, Zhuyu. I'm Rainbow Dash. Welcome to Cloudsdale. Rainbow Dash also liked Zhuyu a lot. Zhuyu's demeanor was particularly elegant, making Rainbow Dash unconsciously stiffen in her presence. And Rainbow Dash, I know you, the Sonic Rainbow. Zhuyu mischievously winked. That's just a legend. Zhuyu, Applejack interjected when she heard Sonic Rainbow. Zhuyu merely smiled mysteriously without saying anything. Zhuyu, where are you staying tonight? I remember you came from the Everfree Forest. Rarity came over and quietly asked Zhuyu. The other ponies were focused on the party's food and games and did not hear them. Don't worry, Fluttershy. My home is just over there. It just needs a little fixing up, Zhuyu replied. Thank you. Angel, this flower is beautiful. Zhuyu said as she took the flower that Angel the bunny handed her and tucked it behind her ear. Angel also came over with Fluttershy, looking different from what Zhuyu saw in the morning. Now, he wore a little bow tie around his white neck, and his hairstyle had been carefully groomed. He had just given Zhuyu a blue flower, which glowed with a blue light around it, matching Zhuyu perfectly. After Zhuyu placed the flower, Angel shyly buried himself behind her ear, causing everyone to laugh. After the party ended, everyone left the candy house. Chapter 3, Ponyville's Twilight in the Morning. Zhuyu woke up in her little room. She took a stroll around the castle. It was good. Not many rooms were in good condition. Zhuyu calculated the materials needed for repairs. It seemed she needed to pay Applejack a visit. A flash of light passed, and Zhuyu appeared at the entrance of Sweet Apple Acres. Applejack was kicking an apple tree, and one by one, red apples fell into the basket. Hi, Zhuyu. Good morning. Have an apple. Applejack threw a particularly large apple over when she saw Zhuyu's figure. Using magic to catch the apple, she said, Good morning, Applejack. This apple is really sweet. Zhuyu took a bite, pleasantly surprised. Of course, the apples from Sweet Apple Acres are the best in all of Ponyville. Applejack was quite proud of her family's orchard. Is there anything I can help you with? Applejack asked, shouldering the basket and heading towards the barn, with Zhuyu using magic to help carry it. I wanted to ask if there is a place in Ponyville that provides a lot of stone and wood. I need quite a few materials for my home, Zhuyu said, feeling a bit shy when they reached the barn and set down the apples. Zhuyu, I can handle this myself. Applejack interrupted Zhuyu's attempt to help with the basket. All right, thank you, Applejack. I'll be on my way then. Zhuyu received reliable information. If anyone in Ponyville was the most dependable, it had to be Applejack. At that moment, Applejack set the basket down under the apple tree. Zhuyu, don't rush. The preparations for the celebration are almost done. Stay for breakfast, and I'll go with you. Then I want to be polite. Let me help you pick apples. Zhuyu walked over to the apple tree. No, Zhuyu, just wait for breakfast. Apple Bloom said as she led Zhuyu to explore Sweet Apple Acres. Applejack stretched her hind legs and kicked the apple tree with a thud. Not long after Applejack called out, a pink-maned foal with a bow approached Zhuyu. Hello, I'm Apple Bloom. Applejack is my sister. And over there picking apples is my brother, Big Macintosh. Granny Smith is on the rocking chair. The other family ponies aren't in this grove. Let me show you around. Apple Bloom's youthful voice rang out. Hello, Apple Bloom. I'm Zhuyu. Nice to meet you. Please show me around, Zhuyu replied. Big sis, your cutie mark is so unique. How did you get it? As Apple Bloom introduced the different areas of the orchard and her family members, she curiously asked about Zhuyu's cutie mark. It was a circular design, with a curved line dividing it into a left white and right black side. The white side had a small black fish, while the black side had a small white fish, and the entire pattern was adorned with delicate golden lines. No wonder Apple Bloom was curious. Whether they were earth ponies, Pegasi, or unicorns, none had such a complex cutie mark. A pony's cutie mark represented their talent and was easily recognizable. Zhuyu's cutie mark was something that Apple Bloom, being so young, couldn't understand. Zhuyu smiled and gently patted Apple Bloom's little head. Are you starting to worry about your cutie mark already? I'll let you in on a secret. Mine has been with me since birth. It represents destiny. Can you tell me what my destiny is? All the ponies in class have gotten their cutie marks. Apple Bloom said anxiously. Little one, relax. Your cutie mark will come. I promise you, it will exceed your expectations, Zhuyu chuckled. It seemed all little ponies worried about their cutie marks in their early years. Really? Apple Bloom still seemed a bit uncertain. Of course, that is my ability. Besides, your cutie mark will also have an unexpected surprise. But I can't tell you in advance. That would ruin the surprise. Before Apple Bloom could say anything, Zhuyu seemed to know what she was going to say and directly refused. Ding ding ding. It's breakfast time. Big sis, let us hurry to eat. Upon hearing the sound of the triangle, Apple Bloom hurriedly pushed Zhu. When they arrived at the dining area, Zhu realized that the Apple family members were indeed numerous. Additionally, she saw a purple unicorn at the table, accompanied by a baby dragon. As Applejack introduced the unicorn to the Apple family members, Zhu looked at her cutie mark, which was a large magenta hexagon surrounded by 5 small white hexagons. Zhu squinted her eyes, another magical element. Right, Ziyue, this is Zhu, just like you. She has just arrived in Ponyville. Applejack introduced Zhu. Hello, I'm Ziyue. Ziyue greeted Zhu somewhat stiffly. This unicorn is very powerful. The book says that only when one's magical power overflows will their mane float, just like the cosmic princess, who is both powerful and beautiful. Hello, Zhu. I'm Suilong. Nice to meet you. Suilong looked at the stiff Ziyue with some helplessness. The cosmic princess had asked her to make friends, but she still wasn't adapting. Hello, Ziyue. Hello, Suilong. I'm Zhu. Nice to meet you. Ziyue. I hope we can discuss magic someday. Zhu slightly bowed her head and greeted them. All right, every pony, it's time to eat, Applejack announced. And all the ponies began to feast. After breakfast and bidding farewell to the Apple family, Applejack took Zhu to the lumber store in the east. After some bargaining by Applejack, Zhu was able to secure a large batch of wood at a very satisfactory price. Next, they went to the sugar cube corner to find Pinkie Pie, who was baking cupcakes at that moment. They received some small cakes in advance, and to be honest, Pinkie's cooking is really good. After explaining their purpose, Pinkie Pie immediately agreed. She had a quarry at home, and this was a piece of cake for her. After agreeing on the price and scheduling, the rest was easy. Applejack and Zhu helped Pinkie prepare food for a welcome party for the new pony. Sometimes I think it's really not easy for Pinkie to organize a party in such a short time. Chapter 4. Nightmare Moon returns after the food was prepared. Pinkie Pie pulled out a party cannon from who knows where. Zhu and Applejack carried the food, while Pinkie brought her cannon. And they headed to the Golden Oak Library, where Ziyue was arranged to stay. Once at the library, as soon as Pinkie's party cannon was fired, the entire first floor was decorated, leaving Zhu dumbfounded. This was on par with magic. Instantly, Zhu's gaze towards Pinkie changed. During the process of setting down the food, ponies began to arrive one after another, and soon, most of the ponies in Ponyville were there. Only Rarity and Ziyue Suilong remained. Pinkie turned off the lights, and everyone quietly waited for the guest of honor to arrive. Soon, Rarity flew down from upstairs. Ziyue seemed to not notice anything unusual and apologized to Suilong, as she had bumped into her earlier. Sorry, Suilong. There's no time. Nightmare Moon is coming soon. I need a quiet environment to read and avoid those ponies who want to befriend you. If possible, I hope to chat with Zhu. By the way, where's the light? Ziyue mumbled. Suddenly, the lights turned on, accompanied by a voice shouting surprise. Suilong and Ziyue jumped in fright. Ziyue felt helpless. She just wanted to quietly read. Was that so difficult? Hello, I'm Pinkie Pie. This party is for you. Surprise. Pinkie bounced around Ziyue. I really didn't expect this. The library should be particularly quiet, Ziyue retorted. Don't be silly. The quietness of the library has nothing to do with a welcome party. Quietness is just boring. Pinkie said beside Ziyue. Ziyue rolled her eyes and walked away. Seeing this, Pinkie immediately followed her. I met you when you first arrived, remember? You said, hello, and then I ran away. Remember? If I hadn't seen you in Ponyville, it means you're new here because I know all the ponies in Ponyville. You must not have made any friends yet, so it must be lonely. That's why I decided to throw you a really big welcome party and invite all the ponies. Look, now you have so many friends. Pinkie rambled on, and Zhu's eyes widened. Are you okay, dear? Applejack asked. Ziyue looked like she had eaten something spicy. Suddenly, Ziyue jumped up, her mane looking as if it were on fire. It seemed quite spicy. Then, Ziyue went upstairs to the library. Indeed, as Suilong flipped over the bottle of sauce Ziyue had spilled, it had a picture of a flame with the words hot sauce on it. Zhu licked her lips, imitating Pinkie's style, and ate a lot of different cupcakes. Pinkie, your way of eating is really not bad. Zhu felt a bit tipsy. The hot sauce was delightful. Of course, paired with cupcakes, it had a unique flavor. While Zhu was munching on food, her mind was contemplating. She seemed to have just heard Ziyue mention Nightmare Moon, the longest day of the 1,000 years. The stars will help her escape. That's what the book said. Nightmare Moon, an ancient legend. Zhu chuckled lightly. She was just a brat throwing a tantrum. Time passed quickly, and soon it was sunrise. Suilong went upstairs to call Ziyue to watch the sunrise with everyone. The sunrises and sunsets, moon rises and hides in Ponyville are all controlled by magic. As the time for sunrise approached, everyone gathered in the town hall, which was beautifully decorated by Rarity. Some Pegasi flew in the air, unable to resist touching the beautiful decorations. Rarity directed her little bird band, and after a burst of music, the mayor appeared on the platform, with the spotlight focused on her. A cheer erupted. On this longest day of the 1,000 years, let us celebrate together. Now, I am immensely honored to introduce the ruler of Ponyville, who raises the sun and moon for us day and night, safeguarding the happiness and harmony of Ponyville. The enlightened and great ruler, Princess Luna. The spotlight focused on the terrace on the second floor. Rarity's little bird band played music at just the right moment. Rarity pulled back the curtain. But strangely, there was no sign of Princess Luna behind the curtain. Zhuyu looked up at the moon in the sky, which showed no signs of descending, and the stars around the moon were gradually dimming. Things seemed to be going wrong. Ziyue suddenly frowned. Rarity brought news of the princess. Princess Luna was missing. Instantly, there was an uproar. At that moment, accompanied by thunder and lightning, a black cloud appeared on the terrace. Soon, a dark purple alicorn appeared before everyone. Nightmare Moon, Ziyue whispered in shock. Zhuyu looked at Nightmare Moon, clad in black armor. TSK, not as pretty as before. Zhuyu thought to herself. Suddenly, her gaze paused on a certain unicorn before she averted her eyes. Who are you? What have you done to Princess Luna? Rainbow Dash exclaimed anxiously, about to charge forward, but Applejack held her tail tightly. What? Is this princess not enough for you? Don't you recognize me? Nightmare Moon laughed twice. Just before Pinkie could speak, Applejack quickly stuffed an apple into her mouth. Suddenly, she approached Rarity, scaring the little bird band into scattering. After being imprisoned for 1,000 years, does the crown on my head not count anymore? Nightmare Moon's mane brushed against Rarity's jaw. Have the legends been forgotten by no pony? Nightmare Moon taunted lightly. The atmosphere was tense when suddenly, Ziyue jumped out and shouted, I know who you are. You are the legendary Moon Mare, Nightmare Moon. Zhuyu watched from the corner, feeling helpless. Ziyue was truly reckless, while Suilong was still lying beside her hooves. Nightmare Moon seemed quite pleased to hear Ziyue's words. So you know what I'm going to do? She smirked. Ziyue stammered. Ha ha, remember this day, ponies. From now on, daytime will cease to exist, and Ponyville will forever remain in darkness. Nightmare Moon laughed wildly, and accompanied by thunder and lightning, black clouds enveloped all the ponies. A look of dread appeared on Ziyue's face. Zhuyu watched from a distance, and with a click, the wheel of fate began to turn. She smiled faintly, ignoring the laughing nightmarish moon, who looked like a great villain. Chapter 5. Departure to the Eternal Freedom Forest. While Nightmarish Moon was laughing, the mayor pointed at her. Capture her. She must know where the cosmic princess is. The royal guards stepped forward, wanting to seize Nightmarish Moon. Step back, fools. After a flash of lightning, Nightmarish Moon transformed into purple smoke and rushed out the door. Rainbow Dash immediately broke free from Applejack and chased after her. Purple Joy thought for a moment, picked up the dragon fruit on the ground, and dashed out as well. Miss Mayor, please calm the residents of Ponyville and assure them not to panic. The rest will be handled. Bamboo Moon walked over to the dazed mayor and patted her shoulder. The mayor looked at Bamboo Moon and, almost instinctively, nodded. All right, girls. Let us go. Our destination is the Golden Oak Library. Bamboo Moon moved beside Fluttershy, interrupting the silent stares. The Golden Oak Library. Rainbow Dash, being impulsive, slammed open the library's big door. Tell me quickly, what is this harmony element you mentioned? How do you know about Nightmarish Moon? Are you a spy sent by her? Huh, harmony element? Can this thing still be used after so long? Bamboo Moon wondered. She remembered there was a book here that recorded the harmony elements. She immediately began searching the nearby bookshelf. Guide to Harmony Elements. Pinkie Pie's voice rang out not far away. Before Bamboo Moon could reach, Pinkie was flung away by Purple Joy. How did you find it? That was fast. Purple Joy was surprised and quickly pulled out the book. I'm good at phonetics. Pinkie Pie bounced happily. There are 6 harmony elements in total. The known ones are kindness, generosity, optimism, loyalty, and honesty. The 6th one currently has no records. Purple Joy read from the book. Bamboo Moon glanced out the window, and the purple smoke peeked in, then quickly ducked away when it saw Bamboo Moon's gaze. That ancient castle is in the Eternal Freedom Forest. Everyone gasped. At this moment, Fluttershy turned to Bamboo Moon, who had been silent. Bamboo Moon smiled at Fluttershy and made a should gesture, trusting Bamboo Moon. Fluttershy nodded without saying a word. A pony liked by little animals can't be a bad guy. After confirming the specific location, the ponies immediately set off toward their target. When they reached the entrance of the Eternal Freedom Forest, Purple Joy began to hesitate again. Listen, girls. Thank you for your kindness, but this time I hope to go alone. Purple Joy really didn't want to trouble everyone. After all, it was her own decision to deal with Nightmarish Moon, and it had nothing to do with this group of girls. Darling, you can't think like that. How can we let a friend go alone to such a terrifying place? That's absolutely out of the question. Of course, we'll stick to you like frosting on a candy apple. After Applejack finished speaking, she led the group of ponies into the eternal freedom forest, leaving Purple Joy looking dazed. Purple Joy sighed, feeling somewhat helpless. Let us go. You'll gain a lot along the way, Bamboo Moon said. Catching up with the main group, Purple Joy had no choice. Now that she was here and with Bamboo Moon, it should be fine, right? With a somewhat anxious heart, Purple Joy stepped into the forest. As they walked, Purple Joy found herself at the front of the group and asked a question. Has none of you been to this forest before? Of course not. Who would come here for no reason? It's so scary. Pinkie Pie felt her eyes were being tortured. The Eternal Freedom Forest was always dark and certainly not a pleasant sight. And I feel something is off here. Everyone says this place is completely different from Ponyville. Applejack scanned the surrounding environment. What do you mean by different? Purple Joy asked. Rainbow Dash. Pinkie Pie screamed, as Pinkie was being held by her. While Applejack was speaking, Fluttershy was leaning against Bamboo Moon, and when Rainbow Dash finished her prank, she immediately shrank under Bamboo Moon's belly, her whole body stiff. Actually, Bamboo Moon felt a bit hurt. The Eternal Freedom Forest was a little dark, but it wasn't particularly strange. They must have never seen the forest in daylight to have such a prejudice. It must be, Bamboo Moon comforted herself. The nearby trees and flowers rustled. Crack! Just after Rainbow Dash finished her prank, the ground where everyone was standing suddenly collapsed. Fluttershy didn't have time to be scared and quickly grabbed Pinkie Pie. Rainbow Dash caught Pinkie. Applejack saw a tree root and quickly bit down on it. Purple Joy looked around and didn't see anything to hold on to, sliding straight down the cliff, getting stuck at the edge. But Bamboo Moon wasn't so lucky, because of her larger size. The double effect of gravitational potential energy and inertia caused her to slide straight off the cliff. While spinning in the air, Bamboo Moon quickly cast a spell to reduce the impact. When she reached the ground, some vines tangled together, so Bamboo Moon fell without a scratch. Thank you, little vines. She sighed in relief. It had been too sudden, and she almost didn't react in time. Bamboo Moon looked up at the sky, where Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy had already caught Purple Joy. Thank goodness, the girls are all right. Bamboo Moon patted her chest to calm her racing heart. Just now, she sensed something was up. Someone was secretly causing trouble. The main group continued on their journey. Once Pinkie and Applejack were safe, phew, Fluttershy and I flew over just in time to catch you. It's a shame we missed catching Bamboo Moon. Rainbow Dash rambled on the way, and Purple Joy listened and nodded along. When they reached a narrow passage, a roar interrupted what Purple Joy was about to say. Upon seeing the shadow blocking their way, Purple Joy exclaimed, "Scorpion-tailed lion. But we have to get past here." Her expression was very serious. Bamboo Moon looked at Fluttershy, who was frowning at the scorpion-tailed lion. The scorpion-tailed lion launched an attack and was kicked several times by Pinkie Pie, Applejack, and Rainbow Dash in succession. During this time, Fluttershy's weak voice was completely drowned out, and they couldn't hear her at all. Just when both sides were about to attack, Fluttershy jumped in front and shouted, "Everyone wait." In that instant, fearing that Fluttershy would get hurt in the conflict, Bamboo Moon cast a powerful spell to freeze all creatures in place. Chapter 6. The Harmony Elements. Purple Joy's eyes widened in shock at the moment she was frozen. The immobilization spell is one of the unicorn spells. Though not particularly difficult, it requires a huge amount of magical energy. Everyone calm down. Let Fluttershy try, Bamboo Moon said. Phew, I haven't used this in a while. I'm a bit rusty. Purple Joy thought as she was just released and heard Bamboo Moon's words that made her teeth itch. Fluttershy gently rubbed the scorpion-tailed lion's paw. In feline behavior, rubbing is a sign of friendliness. The scorpion-tailed lion glanced at its paw and carefully extended it toward Fluttershy. Suddenly, a sharp thorn stuck into the palm of the scorpion-tailed lion. "Oh my goodness, poor thing, this is going to hurt a little bit," Fluttershy said as she bit down on the thorn. The other ponies watched in horror. Roar! The thorn was pulled out, and the scorpion-tailed lion let out a loud roar. "Fluttershy, be careful." Everyone anxiously watched her. The scorpion-tailed lion, which had just been fierce, immediately transformed into a little kitten, licking Fluttershy's mane. The ponies quietly passed by the harmless scorpion-tailed lion. The scorpion-tailed lion set Fluttershy down, and Bamboo Moon approached to cast a healing spell. The scorpion-tailed lion moved its paw. Just as it was about to come over and shower them with saliva, Bamboo Moon quickly grabbed Fluttershy and ran away. Running not far, Zhuyu saw that the scorpion-tailed lion had not followed, and she let out a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Ro still had a particularly wild mane, which Zhuyu couldn't stand, so she cast a cleanse spell, finally restoring Ro's mane to its original state. Ziyu curiously asked Ro. How did you know the scorpion-tailed lion was injured? After pondering for a moment, she had a look of enlightenment. She then looked at Zhuyu. Cleanse spell, another magic. Zhuyu seemed to sense Ziyu's thought that there was an opportunity to teach her, but first, they needed to resolve the issue with the nightmare moon. Everyone continued on their journey, while Bai Qi explored the forest, bouncing around. Oh, I really don't want to see such an ugly place. The more I look, the uglier it gets. Even if that ancient castle is right in front of us, we wouldn't notice it. Jianqi felt that the Eternal Freedom Forest was constantly testing her aesthetic limits. It was getting darker, and she couldn't see anymore. Who is this? Sorry. Did I step on someone? After a commotion. Wait, girls, I think I might have stepped on something. Applegyre stepped on something soft and sticky. It seemed to be some mud. She shook her hooves and didn't pay much attention. Ah, Ro screamed. Applegyre looked up. Ah. The tree in front of them was particularly strange, with a jagged hole in the middle. In an instant, screams echoed everywhere. Zhuyu observed the trees around her. Don't be afraid. The big tree shook its trunk, and Zhuyu felt nothing, but it scared Ziyu and the others into another round of screams. All right. It seems she doesn't need to say anything more. This cheerful atmosphere lasted until everyone stopped in front of a small river with rolling waves. Whoa, what kind of world is this? What kind of world is this? A crying dragon? Sorry, sir, what happened? Ziyu inquired. I don't know, I didn't do anything. Just sitting here nicely, and suddenly a purple smoke passed by, and half of my meticulously groomed beard is gone. Now my handsome image is completely ruined. This dragon was now heartbroken, and the river water it stirred splashed all over everyone. Zhuyu had her mouth half open, filled with water. Yun Bao was indignant. Why did you splash us with water? Is this considered disfigurement? After all this fuss, it's just about half a beard, Applegyre also complained. Uft. Zhuyu spat out the water and used a cleanse spell to clean everyone up again. Jianqi had a different opinion, being particularly sensitive to fashion. She immediately noticed that this dragon took great care of itself. With a carefully styled mane, polished claws, and shiny scales. She absolutely would not allow any disrespect towards aesthetic behavior. Just as Zhuyu finished tidying her mane, she discovered Jianqi had already cut off her tail with scales and attached it to the dragon's half-beard. Zhuyu opened her mouth. Actually, a growth spell would suffice, but seeing how happy they were, she thought it best not to spoil the fun. Jianqi's tail was a slightly curled purple tail, while the dragon's beard was orange-yellow, which made Zhuyu feel a bit uncomfortable. After seeking the agreement of Jianqi and the dragon, Zhuyu cast a small spell to make the beard symmetrical. Ah, that feels better. Shortly after crossing the river, the ruins of the castle appeared before everyone. Ziyu excitedly ran out, not realizing that one side of the suspension bridge's rope was loose. Fortunately, Yun Bao caught Ziyu, or she would have nearly jumped off a cliff again. Yun Bao flapped her wings, grasped the rope of the suspension bridge, and flew to the other side. Thick fog enveloped them, and soon everyone could no longer see Yun Bao's figure. Zhuyu squinted her eyes, and her horn emitted a glow. On the other side of the suspension bridge, we hope for a brave, fearless, exceptionally skilled little pony with strong flying abilities to be our captain. A dark-colored flying horse tempted beside Yun Bao. Our Shadow Pegasus team is about to become the best flying team in Pony Maria. Now we just need a leader to guide us. Yun Bao was quite tempted. Wait until I finish tying the rope, and I'll join you. No. Will it be her or us? The Shadow Pegasus continued to tempt. As Ziyu stepped onto the suspension bridge, Yun Bao flew above her. Look, I will never let my friends down. Entering the hall of the castle ruins, 5 hemispherical objects appeared before everyone. Ro and Yun Bao flew up to bring them down. There are only 5 here. The 6th one shouldn't be in that half, right? Bai Qi counted. The book says that after finding 5 elements of harmony, a spark will reveal the 6th. Ziyu leaned over in front of the elements of harmony. I have an idea. Everyone stepped back. A light of pale purple emerged from Ziyu's horn. Applegyre, don't rush. Leave it to Ziyu. She can do it. Jianqi said, noticing Applegyre's confusion. Everyone follow me. Let Ziyu concentrate. After Applegyre finished speaking, she walked out of the castle. After greeting everyone, Zhuyu stayed behind, watching Ziyu from a corner. Ah, a loud scream. Zhuyu watched as Nightmare Moon took away the elements of harmony and Ziyu. With a spell, she followed after them. Hearing the screams, the other little ponies rushed in but saw no shadows. At this moment, Jianqi noticed a strong light coming from the nearby tower. Over there, everyone immediately followed the source of the light. Chapter 7, Rainbow Cannon over here. Nightmare Moon was surrounded by the elements of harmony, and Ziyu's horn glowed as she charged towards Nightmare Moon, who was unafraid and met her head-on. Little did she know that Ziyu teleported to the center of the elements of harmony. Just one spark. We need just one spark. Hurry, hurry. Nightmare Moon charged towards Ziyu, and a small spark of magic appeared. Ziyu was knocked away. Nightmare Moon stood in the center of the elements of harmony. Looking bewildered. This is impossible. Suddenly, Ziyu's expression changed from confidence to confusion. Standing in the elements of harmony, Nightmare Moon was unharmed. The sixth element of harmony did not appear. Nightmare Moon burst into wild laughter, raising her front hoof and bringing it down heavily, shattering the elements of harmony. Foolish little ponies, trying to defeat me with the elements of harmony? Because of your ignorance, from now on, you will never see your princess or daylight again. Pony Maria will forever be in darkness. Ha! At this moment, Ziyu stepped forward, looking at the despondent Ziyu and the scattered shards of the elements of harmony. Sighed. This was something I shouldn't have interfered with. You? Why are you here? Nightmare Moon's pupils contracted sharply upon seeing Ziyu appear, her entire body on guard. Little Moon, you look a bit messy, Ziyu said nonchalantly. I am no longer the Moon I used to be. As a dark pony, I am stronger now. Soon, this place will forever be in darkness. No pony will be stronger than me, including you. As Nightmare Moon spoke, her horn gathered magic and charged towards Ziyu. Except for the occasional magic current bouncing near Ziyu and the constant dust from the collapsing walls, the whole atmosphere was quite harmonious. Where are Applejair and the others? Why haven't they arrived yet? If they don't come soon, her home will be gone, Ziyu muttered to herself, teleporting and casting a shield. She didn't counterattack. It wouldn't be good to hurt Little Moon. Her home was here, and there wasn't much good left to begin with. With this fight, there would be basically nothing left. Ziyu's heart was bleeding. Ziyu, where are you? We're coming. At this moment, Ziyu heard the voices of the other little ponies. Thank goodness, they finally arrived. Just then, Ziyu stood up as if she had been injected with adrenaline. As if the one who had just been sprawled on the ground wasn't her. Nightmare Moon, do you think you can easily destroy the elements of harmony like this? You are completely wrong. Because the spirit represented by the elements of harmony has always been by my side. Ziyu lifted the shards of the elements of harmony with magic. Ziyu put away her magic and took out an apple, munching on it while watching the excitement. Applejack gave me confidence when my life was hanging by a thread. The spirit she represents is honesty. Fluttershy, when faced with the scorpion lion, resolved troubles with her kindness, representing the spirit of goodness. Pinkie Pie, in the face of unknown dangers, dispelled everyone's fear with laughter, thus embodying optimism. Rarity, willing to sacrifice her beautiful tail to comfort the sorrowful dragon, represents generosity. Rainbow Dash, in the face of great temptation, held on to her true self and did not abandon her friends, representing loyalty. Of course, if it weren't for Zekara holding you back, everyone wouldn't have found this place so quickly. Twilight Sparkle spoke eloquently. Indeed, these 6 little ponies were destined to come together. Zekara continued munching on an apple. And I must say, the apples from Sweet Apple Acres are simply delicious. Their spirits gathered together, overcoming all challenges. Nightmare Moon didn't understand why there were only 5 here. Where was the 6th element of harmony? Your spark has not worked. Suddenly, a glowing orb appeared in the air. Nightmare Moon, the existing elements of harmony were ignited, and the 6th was about to appear, which is the element of magic. A blinding white light, and the shards of harmony surrounding the other ponies gathered into necklaces, while Twilight Sparkle's element of magic transformed into a crown. Then, the energy from the reformed elements of harmony gathered into a rainbow-colored beam, shooting towards Nightmare Moon. At the moment the 6th element of magic appeared, Nightmare Moon was stunned. By the time she regained her senses, the rainbow beam had already surrounded her. No, only a reluctant scream was left. Zekara shielded her eyes. That rainbow cannon was still so blinding. After a while, Zekara lowered her hooves and looked at the ponies lying on the floor. Are you all okay? Applejack asked. Rainbow Dash shook her dizzy head. Her head hurt. What kind of after effects were these? So beautiful, Rarity praised. Rarity thought Fluttershy was talking about her tail and kept hugging it. No, Rarity, I'm talking about your necklace. It looks just like your cute cutie mark. Zekara walked over and cast a large healing spell, dispelling everyone's discomfort. Rarity's diamond gem, Fluttershy's little butterfly, Applejack's apple, Pinkie Pie's balloon, Rainbow Dash's lightning, and Twilight Sparkle's hexagram. The elements of harmony can change into different forms based on the user. Twilight Sparkle's crown signifies her extraordinary fate. Twilight, I thought you were talking nonsense before, but now it seems we truly represent the spirit of friendship. It's just a pity we don't have Zekara's kind of friendship. Applejack spoke honestly. I don't need this. And does our friendship not count without the elements of harmony? Zekara shook her head. This time, the holders of the elements of harmony were quite interesting. Zekara's half-joking words eased the tense atmosphere. You're right. Accompanied by sunlight, a voice echoed from outside the window. The light gradually approached and landed as a pure white alicorn. Except for Zekara, everyone bowed. Princess Celestia. Twilight even ran over to hug her. Hello, Twilight. My most loyal student. Princess Celestia lowered her head and touched Twilight. I knew you could do it, but you told me before that it was just an ancient legend. Twilight was quite puzzled. Twilight looked at her friends, lowered her head, and sincerely thanked her. Of course, with Zekara here, there wouldn't be any problems. Princess Celestia smiled. Princess Celestia mentioning Zekara surprised everyone. Chapter 8, Princess Luna. I hope she can learn her lesson as well, Princess Luna. Princess Celestia said, looking at the blue-purple alicorn beside her. Luna, in ancient terms, is the name of the moon goddess. In Ponyville, Luna governs the moon and dreams. That is where Nightmare Moon was defeated. The blue-purple alicorn lay on the ground, surrounded by shards of black armor occasionally emitting bursts of magic. Hearing Princess Celestia's words, her pupils shrank suddenly. I haven't seen you in such a sorry state for nearly 1,000 years. Princess Celestia spread her wings and walked towards Luna. Please forget our unpleasantness and join me in ruling the kingdom, sister. Princess Celestia said, lying down in front of Luna. Luna initially backed away a bit, clearly frightened. Princess Celestia's words surprised her. Zekara face-bombed. You might want to put your wings away first. This posture doesn't look like a reconciliation. It looks more like you are about to fight Luna. Sister? Twilight and the others were very surprised. They hadn't heard that Princess Celestia had a sister. Can you accept my friendship, Luna? Princess Celestia said, standing up. Luna felt a bit ashamed. It had been 1,000 years, and she missed Princess Celestia very much. Over here, led by Pinkie Pie, everyone looked at the two sisters, their expressions anxious, fearing Luna wouldn't agree. I'm very sorry for causing such trouble. I really miss you, sister. Luna rushed to Princess Celestia, affectionately rubbing her neck against her. It had been 1,000 years since they had last seen each other. Princess Celestia shed tears, her long-lost family. I miss you too, sister. All right. How old are you, still crying? Zekara's appearance was a real mood killer. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna immediately wiped their tears and separated. Zekara, long time no see, Princess Celestia said. Tia and Luna, long time no see. Zekara said with a smile. The little alicorn back then can now stand on her own. Celestia, the name of Princess Celestia. When Zekara stood in front of Princess Celestia, everyone noticed that Zekara's eyes could almost match that of Princess Celestia. The previously emotional atmosphere was instantly shattered. The party couldn't be held in such a dilapidated place, so everyone set off towards Ponyville. Pinkie Pie ran away like the wind, disappearing from sight. Before leaving the castle, Zekara dug a hole in a corner of the castle and threw the apple core from earlier into it. On the way to Ponyville. Ahem. Zekara coughed awkwardly. She seemed to have slept a bit too long and found it hard to find a topic to discuss with the ruler, Princess Celestia. Zekara, I hope you can come to Canterlot and see the world now. There are some things I would like to consult you about. Princess Celestia said. The teacher is still the same. She gets particularly nervous when she meets a pony she hasn't seen for a long time. Teacher, I also hope you can come to Canterlot. I still haven't learned the magic you taught before you fell asleep. Luna added from the side. Zekara nodded. Who would have thought she would be the teacher of two princesses? Princess Celestia, no wonder you would be so at ease with Zekara around. Twilight had been leisurely following behind Princess Celestia, and, upon hearing Princess Luna refer to Zekara as her teacher, she looked enlightened. The journey back was much quicker without Nightmare Moon's interference. Indeed, the assists on the way to the ancient castle were all caused by Nightmare Moon. The main group soon arrived at Ponyville, and Princess Luna looked at the party welcoming her and the surrounding ponies, lowering her head in confusion. Pinkie Pie refreshed Zekara's understanding once again. Such a big party. Was it all organized by Pinkie Pie? At this moment, Zekara whistled, and a chariot pulled by 4 Pegasi appeared in front of Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. Zekara urged, Go on, these are your subjects. Spike followed the crowd and came to Twilight, giving her a big hug. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna accepted the pony's respect, but Princess Luna still felt guilty. Having turned into Nightmare Moon, she had almost lost her sanity and committed many wrongdoings. At that moment, 2 little flying horses flew over and presented the Moon Princess with a flower crown. The Moon Princess looked down at the crown, which she truly did not expect. She raised her head to look at her sister, the Cosmic Princess, who was smiling at her. At this point, she poked the Cosmic Princess, signaling her to look over there. From her angle, she could see a certain little horse who looked quite dejected. Your Highness, the time is too short. I just discovered how wonderful friendship is, yet I have to leave immediately. I can't bear to part with everyone. Ziyue looked despondent, completely unaware of the smile in the Cosmic Princess's eyes. Suilong, please record this. I, the Cosmic Princess, hereby decree that Unicorn Ziyue shall reside in Ponyville from today onwards, with the primary focus on learning the magic of friendship and to report her learning experiences in a timely manner. Suilong took out a pen and began to jot down notes. Ziyue's heart felt like it was on a roller coaster, soaring up and down. With the Cosmic Princess's decree, she suddenly felt at ease. The little ponies were all happy for her and congratulated her one after another. Suddenly, while watching the lively scene, Zhuyu was pulled over by Biki and Yunbao, and everyone hugged together. Zhuyu felt a bit suffocated by this overwhelming enthusiasm. When leaving, the two sisters invited Zhuyu to visit Canterlot. Just after landing on the ground of Canterlot, the Cosmic Princess was called away to handle official business. Fortunately, not long after the Cosmic Princess left, the captain of her guard arrived to escort them. Your Highness, Master Emperor, I am Shining Armor, the captain of the Royal Guard, sent by the Cosmic Princess to welcome you both. The white unicorn with blue highlights in its mane looked very respectful. One was the sister of the Cosmic Princess, and the other was their teacher. Both were significant figures. Shining Armor, you must be familiar with the castle, so please show us around. The Moon Princess took on a commanding tone. All right, please follow me. Shining Armor spent the afternoon familiarizing them with the main hall of the castle. It looked much larger inside than it did outside. Shining Armor, what is your relationship with Ziyue? Zhuyu noticed the cute emblem of the guard captain. Master Emperor, do you know my sister? Upon hearing Zhuyu's question, Shining Armor became excited. Ziyue was a sister he was particularly proud of. Shining Armor, Ziyue is my friend. I met her in Ponyville not long ago. She is an excellent unicorn. Also, please stop calling me Master Emperor. It sounds too strange. You are Ziyue's brother, so just call me Zhuyu, like Ziyue does. Zhuyu shivered a bit. The ponies always like to give her strange titles. All right, Zhuyu, it's getting late. I'll show you around the castle tomorrow. For now, I'll take you and the Moon Princess to your dormitory. Thank you for your high praise of Ziyue. Although Zhuyu said this, Shining Armor still held a lot of respect for her. The Moon Princess was observing the stained glass windows of the castle. The side she was looking at happened to depict the Cosmic Princess and her coronation. Chapter 9. Canterlot. The next day, in the morning, Zhuyu walked out of her room while yawning. Good morning, Zhuyu. The Cosmic Princess greeted her, noticing Zhuyu's obvious fatigue without any surprise. When she and Luna were little ponies, every time they saw their teacher, she always looked like she hadn't had enough sleep. Good morning, Tia. Yawn. Zhuyu yawned again. She had helped the Moon Princess repair the dream passage and had only slept for a short while. When the Moon Princess became Nightmare Moon, the Cosmic Princess had blasted the dream passage to bits to prevent her from manipulating the lives of the ponies through dreams. They had worked all night to build the bridge. Little Moon was eager to restore her magic, so how could she just stand by? During the daytime, the Moon Princess was still somewhat weak, which was why she was still asleep. Oh, Tia, did you prepare this breakfast? It looks amazing. Upon entering the dining room, Zhuyu immediately saw the delicious food on the table. I'm glad you noticed. Try it and see how it tastes. The Cosmic Princess smiled and took a seat. Zhuyu didn't say anything and dove into her meal. Seeing Zhuyu like this, the Cosmic Princess realized that her actions fully reflected the food's deliciousness. Using magic to levitate a spoon, she also began to enjoy her meal. The Cosmic Princess ate quickly yet elegantly, and after finishing, she immediately went to handle official business. After eating her fill, Zhuyu took the food that had been packed for her and walked towards the Moon Princess's room. Little Moon, I'm coming in. Zhuyu knocked on the door, but received no response. Well, she's still sleeping. Pushing open the door, Zhuyu saw the Moon Princess wearing an eye mask, sleeping in a disheveled manner, with her blanket fallen to the floor. Zhuyu set down the food and used magic to float the blanket back over the Moon Princess. She left a note and quietly exited the room. Not long after going out, she happened to run into Shining Armor, who had just finished patrolling the corridor. Lady Zhuyu, good morning. Shining Armor saluted. Good morning, Shining Armor. You don't need to show us around today. The Royal Guard has many things to attend to. I've spoken with the Cosmic Princess, and the remaining areas we can explore on our own with the Moon Princess. Zhuyu was just looking for him. Shining Armor said nothing further, saluted again, turned, and continued his patrol. As a royal soldier, he only needed to obey orders. Now, let me see. Where's the library? Zhuyu took out a map from her space, which she had just asked the Cosmic Princess for. Now, I'm here, and the library is here. Turn left, go straight, past the garden, and keep going to the Canterlot Royal Archives. In other words, it was a private library. Looking at the map, Zhuyu took several turns before reaching her destination. She put away the map and started browsing through the archives. Time passed bit by bit. and Zhu discovered many interesting books in the archives, including the effect of the water from the royal fountain of Canterlot on the plants in the garden, how to reverse time, and how to know the outcomes of the future, among others. When she found the book Rebuilding the Dreamland, Zhu suddenly felt dazed. Some images flashed before her eyes. Shaking her head vigorously, Zhu tried to shake off the unsettling images that had just surfaced. What a heart-pounding vision that was. TSK. It's a bit unpleasant. Zhu calmed her emotions. The unicorn concentrated her magic, and in an instant, the entire archive was enveloped by an invisible barrier. Zhu took the book she found and locked the door again. She needed to go find Little Moon. Walking down the empty corridor, Zhu looked at the stained glass windows on the walls, some of which had already begun to display images. Among them, she saw Tia raising the sun, Luna raising the moon, and the pink Pegasus successfully saving the town and being crowned as an alicorn, as well as the black unicorn becoming the crown prince. The stained glass windows of Canterlot were magical. When a significant event occurred, a recorded window would appear on the wall. Of course, Zhu also saw the stained glass window depicting Ziyue and her friends defeating Nightmare Moon. In an inconspicuous corner, she even discovered herself. Zhu was quite surprised. Although there was only a shadow of a unicorn, it was still recognizable as her own. It seemed that after so much time, the magic of Canterlot had upgraded a bit. Unknowingly, she had finished looking at all the stained glass windows and had gained a general understanding of recent events. Upon reaching the Moon Princess's room, Zhu found that the Moon Princess was still asleep. Not wanting to disturb her, she quietly exited the room. Now, she needed to go out and find some food to fill her stomach. Leaving the castle, Zhu followed the delicious aroma to a particularly good dessert shop, where the owner warmly recommended the shop's desserts to her. Zhu couldn't resist the temptation and ordered a lot of donuts and hot chocolate. The shopkeeper even gifted her an extra slice of chocolate cake. She found a spot by the window and took out the chili sauce she had brought from her space. Thus, in a corner where no one was watching, a unicorn that looked very elegant and beautiful was crazily eating donuts with chili sauce. In fact, it was quite delicious. Zhu kept eating with satisfaction in her heart. After paying the bill, she touched her slightly bulging belly and decided that this shop had to be added to her food list. It was truly enjoyable. As Zhu strolled along the street, taking in the scenery around her, she couldn't help but admire Canterlot, the main city, with its neat buildings, well-arranged shops, fresh greenery, and the elegantly dressed little ponies everywhere. Zhu sighed, noticing how times have changed. Canterlot had transformed into a place she no longer recognized. While passing a tea stall with a group of wealthy little ponies, Zhu overheard them discussing the Galloping Gala. Out of curiosity, she found a place where she could eavesdrop, ordered a pot of green tea and some snacks, and perked up her ears. "Hey, did you hear? Miss Lingxin got tickets to the Galloping Gala," said a white unicorn lady, waving her fan. Of course, her father is a newly appointed fabric dealer, and the tickets were obtained from a partnering jeweler, said another pink unicorn, her emerald necklace catching Zhu's eye. "It's incredible. I heard that Miss Lingxin's father has launched a new fabric from the distant silk curtain country, called silk," added a blue unicorn. Zhu thought to herself that if there were such colored silk, she would definitely buy a piece, even if just for collection. Actually, with my business acumen, Lingxin could easily get tickets to the gala. Ladies, you should think about how to obtain your own tickets. A well-dressed male with a monocle suddenly appeared at the tea gathering. Several unicorns felt awkward discussing someone else's child in front of their father and quickly left. Chapter 10. Back to Ponyville. The pony's madness. Zhu found there was no excitement left to see, so after paying the bill, she continued her shopping. She spent the entire afternoon exploring the street, discovering a large library in the city center, 2 particularly cozy bakeries, and even meeting a little pony who was studying to the point of near madness. This pony was so engrossed in her book that she almost bumped into a pole, and Zhu had to pull her back, which led to her clinging onto Zhu. After some persuasion, Zhu managed to escape by promising to share magic insights with her. When it was time for dinner, Princess Luna finally woke up, and remarkably, her mane was slightly floating. She had a good sleep. Princess Luna was in great spirits, and Princess Celestia remarked that she looked radiant. "Sister, while I can't help much in the dream realm, please make sure to stay safe while helping the ponies dispel their nightmares," Princess Celestia said, full of concern for her sister. "No problem, sister. Besides, I have a teacher here," Princess Luna replied confidently after taking a bite of food. "Let's eat first. We can discuss things after we fill our bellies," Zhu said, her eyes shining at the sight of food. The rest of the time at the dining table was filled only with the sound of chewing. "Zhu, Luna, I'm going to rest now. You both take care of your health. The dream realm isn't something that can be fixed overnight," Princess Celestia said. The day's affairs had exhausted her, and she needed rest. Tia, you take care of yourself too. Zhuyu cast a healing spell to alleviate some of Princess Celestia's fatigue. Sister, once I recover my magic, I can help you handle the affairs, Luna said with a worried expression. Little Moon, let's work hard and try to repair all the dreams today, Zhuyu said passionately, feeling inexplicably excited as night fell. After a night of repairs, the dream passage was finally re-established. Princess Luna could hardly wait to start fulfilling her duties. Searching for the pony's dream orbs, Zhuyu greeted Princess Luna and exited the dream. She piled up some soft blankets and fell asleep. I hope you can come often. The room will always be reserved for you. Princess Celestia felt a bit reluctant to part with Zhuyu. During the days Zhuyu had been there, she had been busy handling affairs and hadn't properly hosted her teacher. Little Moon is still resting. Remember to tell her, Princess Celestia said. Zhuyu nodded, not lingering. And with the teleportation, she left Canterlot. Heaven knows how afraid she was of collapsing this precious place during her earlier battle with Nightmare Moon. With a teleport, Zhuyu arrived at Ponyville. Before she even entered, she heard a commotion. She's here. No, she's over there. That's not Ziyue, he's here. Approaching a chaotic group of ponies. Zhuyu, using her height advantage, saw Ziyue and Suilong surrounded by a crowd of little ponies, who were frequently shouting, "Give me the tickets. Take me with you. The galloping gala must be great. Take me with you. You're so nice. Take me with you." Ziyue looked scared. These little ponies were going mad over tickets. Zhuyu cast a spell to make Ziyue and Suilong invisible. Huh, where's Ziyue? She was just here. The surrounding ponies, unable to see their target, dispersed in confusion. Once the ponies had left, Zhuyu lifted the spell. Ziyue, what happened? Why is everyone so crazy? And what else with your face? You look like a little calico cat. Zhuyu cast a cleaning spell to remove the colorful makeup from Ziyue and Suilong's faces. Ah, thank you, Zhuyu. Today has been terrible. Princess Celestia sent 2 tickets to the Galloping Gala, and the ponies in town found out about it. They've been doing things that are driving me crazy all day. But I only have 2 tickets, and I can't take all my friends with me, Ziyue said helplessly, her face almost touching the ground. Wait, Zhuyu, you don't want tickets too, do you? Ziyue suddenly looked at Zhuyu warily. Her mouth had run ahead of her. What if Zhuyu wanted tickets too? If you're so confused, why not write to Princess Celestia? Zhuyu asked. Before Ziyue could respond, a scream rang out. Everyone, Ziyue is here, followed by the sound of many hooves hitting the ground. Ziyue, like a startled bird, gathered her magic and with a bang, vanished from the spot, leaving a bunch of stunned little ponies behind. Cough, cough. Zhuyu exhaled a puff of smoke. Ziyue, next time you use that trick, remember to give me a heads up. Suilong was covered in burn marks. Sorry, Suilong, Zhuyu. I didn't expect to use that trick. No time. Quickly, lock the doors and windows. Turn off the lights, Ziyue said in a panic. Today's little ponies were truly terrifying. Zhuyu went upstairs to turn off the lights and lock the windows. These little ponies were even scarier than Princess Celestia's fervent fans. Hearing Ziyue's scream, Zhuyu hurried downstairs. When she got down, she found Applejack, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, and even Fluttershy were all there. Zhuyu was confused. What exactly was the Galloping Gala? The ponies from Canterlot were just as puzzled, and even the shy Fluttershy wanted to go. I really can't decide. I know everyone wants to go, but I only have 2 tickets. I can't let my other friends down. You're all my friends. And I don't want anyone to be unhappy over a ticket. But I really can't do it. Ziyue was starting to break down. I'm sorry, dear, to put so much pressure on you. I know you want everyone to be happy, but I'm really sorry for putting this pressure on you. I don't want the ticket anymore. You can take the other little ponies with you. I won't mind, I promise. Applejack gently hugged Ziyue. Me too, Ziyue. I'm really sorry to put you in such a difficult position. Ruru also flew to Ziyue's side. I'm sorry too, Ziyue. It's not good to make friends feel sad. Pinkie had a face full of regret. I'm sorry, Ziyue. We've all gone a bit crazy over the tickets. Jinchi walked over to Ziyue and said, Yay, now the ticket is mine. Yongbao was happily celebrating when she noticed everyone looking at her. Ahem, I still need to practice my flying signature move. I don't want the ticket either. We've all gotten too excited over the celebration tickets without realizing how much this has troubled you. I'm sorry, Ziyue. Everyone said in unison. Suilong, please help me write a letter. Ziyue suddenly had a bright idea. Zhumoon is right. Why not write a letter to the Cosmic Princess and ask? Zhumoon was still confused and dazed. Chapter 11. Ruru's little bunny. After coming to her senses, Zhumoon saw a ticket floating above her head, looking confusedly at Ziyue. This is your ticket. You left Canterlot too hurriedly, and the Cosmic Princess didn't have time to give it to you. Ziyue looked at Zhumoon with a funny expression. Ziyue hasn't eaten yet. Let's take her to eat something delicious. Pinkie bounced out of the library. Oh my gosh, it's so peaceful now. But why is it that I'm the only one without a ticket? Suilong finally breathed a sigh of relief. Actually, saying he didn't want to go was a lie. He was a little sad about not having his ticket, just a little. I'll give you mine. I don't understand that celebration. And it wouldn't be fun for me to go. Zhumun saw Suilong looking a bit down and handed him the ticket. That's not fair to you. Suilong was quite conflicted. Ugh, ugh, roar. Before Zhumun could say anything, Suilong suddenly made a couple of noises, and then a burst of green dragon fire came out. As the smoke cleared, a letter with a ticket appeared. This ticket is for you, the letter said. Suilong looked excited, and Zhumun smiled helplessly, putting the ticket away. Look, the cosmic princess still remembers you. Let's go, keep up with everyone. Zhumun patted Suilong's little head. Kids are easy to understand. The next day, at Ruru's little house, Zhumun knocked on Ruru's door. Ruru's home was near the forest, and considering the distance, Zhumun's home wasn't very far from here. Hi, Angel, good morning. The door was opened by a white little bunny. Angel made a knightly gesture. Oh, Angel, you're so cute. Zhumun cupped her face in delight. Good morning, Ruru. I made some small snacks, and I brought some for you and Angel. Zhumun handed over the gift. Thank you, Zhumun. You're too kind. Ruru poured some tea. Angel was busy running around, passing food and arranging the cushions behind Zhumun. Angel, thank you for your kindness, but there's no need to be so formal. Take a break. Zhumun hugged the little bunny. Haha, Zhumun, you don't know, but when I heard you were coming, Angel got up early to prepare herself. Even the tea and snacks were prepared by Angel. Ruru smiled brightly. The fluffy little creature was truly healing. After rubbing Angel's fluffy fur until it was all frizzy, Zhumun finally controlled herself. Ruru was amazed, while Angel, with a frizzy coat, looked utterly defeated, as if its soul had left home. Ahem. Zhumun felt embarrassed and used a grooming spell to restore Angel to its original appearance. Zhumun, your magic is so useful. Usually, it takes a lot of effort to groom fluffy animal friends. Ruru seemed to have discovered something extraordinary. Is that so? Ruru, if you don't mind, I can come over once a week to help you take care of the little animals. Zhumun had a flash of inspiration and proposed an idea. Zhumun was also very happy, and Ruru agreed. So every week, she would have fluffiness to look forward to. Just thinking about it was a particularly happy thing. Both sides were very satisfied, leaving Angel, who was still lost in thought, clueless. After an unknown amount of time, while chatting happily, Ruru and Zhumun noticed that Angel's ears were visibly turning pink, and its fluffy fur was also frizzing up. Angel looked at Zhumun, turned around, and jumped into Ruru's arms, refusing to come out no matter how they called its name. This made Zhumun and Ruru laugh for a while. Angel, are you really not going with us? Ruru asked seriously one more time before leaving. Seeing the bunny buried in the cushions, she waved her little paw and closed the door. I'm so sorry, Ruru. Is Angel okay? Zhumun said apologetically, feeling like she might have overdone it a bit. Don't worry, Zhumun. Angel is just shy. It's too embarrassed to come out now. I've never seen it so bashful. Ruru smiled, finding Angel's behavior amusing. Next time, I'll try to hold back a bit. Zhumun said helplessly. She had no resistance to little animals at all. While chatting, Ruru quickly led Zhumun to the place where the baby bunnies were. Wow, Ruru. Are these the baby bunnies you mentioned? So many fluffies. Can I touch them? Zhumun's eyes lit up when she saw the variously colored little bunnies in the woods. But she didn't forget to ask for Ruru's opinion. After all, there was Angel's example to consider. You have to be careful. These baby bunnies were just born and are still very fragile, Ruru said, picking up a little bunny that had been staring at Zhumun and placing it in her arms. Wow, a soft and fluffy little bunny. Zhumun held the little bunny and started to groom it. The tiny creature, not shy at all, rolled around in her arms. Seeing that little bunny being cute in Zhumun's embrace, the other baby bunnies also came out from the woods, each one finding a spot on Zhumun. Soon, Zhumun was overwhelmed by a sea of bunnies, and she herself was lost in a large group of fluffiness, petting this one and poking that one. Zhumun looked in the direction Ruru pointed, and it was indeed Applejack. But why did she look so tired? It's her, Ruru, but why does Applejack look so exhausted? Zhumun said to Ruru. I'm not sure. A few days ago during the awards, Applejack fell asleep while carrying Apple to accept the award. Ruru looked a bit worried. In the gaps of their conversation, Applejack yawned and walked up to them. She had a little dog with her, and Applejack called it Winona. Applejack, thank you so much for coming to help me with the annual bunny census. There are just too many baby bunnies this year, Ruru said as she walked up to Applejack. Why do we need to do a census for them? Applejack, exhausted, expressed her confusion, her words laced with frustration. Zhumun frowned and walked over to Applejack. After casting a healing spell, Applejack looked much better. Applejack, you need to rest, Zhumun said with concern. No, I don't need to. But thank you for your magic, Zhumun. I feel like I have enough energy to finish picking all the apples now. So, Ruru, what do I need to do? Applejack stretched her body. There are just too many baby bunnies. My task is to count the number of bunnies in each family. I hope you can gather them together. Ruru said softly. Oh, okay, let's get started. Applejack called for her dog. Chapter 12. The Rabbit's Revolt. Stubborn Applejack, wait a moment. Applejack, remember to be gentle. We are gathering the little rabbits, not the cows. Some of them are very young and timid, Rarity reminded Applejack softly. Zhuyu looked worried. Applejack didn't seem to be listening to Rarity at all. Not long ago, Applejack had helped to resolve a stampede of cows, and as a thank you, the mayor awarded her the Little Pony Valley Outstanding Pony Award. I have plenty of experience herding animals. I don't need you to teach me, right, Winona? Applejack said with a tone that wasn't much better. Come here, little rabbits, gather around. I need you to line up, Rarity said gently, directing the little rabbits to stand together. Everyone, slow down, don't push. Zhuyu followed her lead, feeling a sense of foreboding. Great, very good, stay put, little rabbits. Come on, Winona, hurry them up. Without waiting for Rarity and Zhuyu to finish, Applejack, who was particularly impatient, started chasing after the little rabbits. The rabbits, frightened of being chased and with dogs watching nearby, couldn't escape. Stop, quick, stop. Applejack, Winona, you're scaring the little rabbits. Rarity's voice sounded particularly powerless. Applejack paid no attention. This way, little rabbits. Before long, all the little rabbits were gathered inside a fence, trembling under the gazes of Applejack and Winona. Suddenly, one of the rabbits in the group rebelled and broke through their line of defense. The entire group of rabbits ran toward Little Pony Valley. Oh no, stop, kids. Calm down. Zhuyu and Rarity couldn't stop the frightened rabbits. Images suddenly flashed in Zhuyu's mind, and she quickly pulled Rarity to dodge into Little Pony Valley. When they arrived, the rabbits had just crossed the bridge at the entrance of Little Pony Valley. Rarity flew into the sky, while Zhuyu dashed to the side of the street, occasionally saving little ponies who were frozen in fear from the rabbit stampede. The little ponies scattered in all directions. When Ziyue arrived, she saw a chaotic street and plants that had been nibbled on. Seeing this, Ziyue walked over to Zhuyu, saying, this was done by Applejack, in a tone of utter certainty. Seeing Zhuyu nod, Ziyue's face grew serious. All right, I've had enough. Ziyue expressed her anger. During the past week, while accompanying Rainbow Dash for training, Applejack had sent Rainbow flying onto the library rooftop. Helping Pinky make a cake had resulted in a food poisoning incident at the Pony Emergency Center. She was truly fed up. Zhuyu was surprised to hear about these things from Ziyue. Applejack's behavior was indeed unusual. After helping Rarity catch the rabbits, Zhuyu rushed to the Pony Emergency Center. Pinky was throwing up. I'll never eat pastries again. Ugh, ugh. Zhuyu looked quite pale. The little ponies lying there had faces as green as spinach juice, accompanied by sporadic vomiting. After finding the head of the emergency center, she gathered all the food-poisoned little ponies together. A blue light flashed, and the little ponies felt much better. Zhuyu stumbled a bit. Applejack's food was truly deadly, and most of the little ponies in Little Pony Valley had been affected. Today's magic has been a bit overused, she thought. Are you feeling better, Pinky? Zhuyu walked over to Pinky's bedside, patting her back. Pinky, having just finished vomiting, looked much better after Zhuyu's healing spell. She poured a glass of water and handed it to Pinky. I feel much better, Zhuyu. You have no idea. The muffins Applejack made are the worst I've ever eaten. It's the same recipe, but I don't understand why hers turned out so different from mine. Today is my first day being in charge of the candy house, and it's truly unforgettable, Pinky complained to Zhuyu after taking a sip of water. Pinky. Ziyue just went to find Applejack. Applejack is as stubborn as a mule. She insists on picking all the apples from the eastern hillside of Sweet Apple Acres herself. Ziyue has tried to convince her several times, but has been refused, Zhuyu said helplessly. No wonder Applejack looks so tired. I told her to take a break. But she didn't listen, Pinky said, jumping off the bed and stretching her legs. What is this? Pinky looked at a paper crane that flew in. The crane circled around Zhuyu, unfolded, and landed in front of her. If you have a chance, can you teach me, Zhuyu? Let me learn a little trick too, Pinky said with curiosity, taking the letter paper from Zhuyu. Oh, Zhuyu, Ziyue wants us to go to Sweet Apple Acres. Let us hurry, Pinky exclaimed. The letter stated that Ziyue had finally persuaded Applejack to let her friends help pick apples. Applejack loved helping everyone. But when it came to herself, she didn't want anyone to help her. What a stubborn little pony. Zhuyu and Pinky set off towards Sweet Apple Acres, encountering Rarity, Rainbow Dash, and Trixie along the way. Everyone had received Ziyue's message and came to help. Rainbow Dash and Pinky discussed Trixie's beautiful mane, sharing their tragic experiences with her. As they chatted, they unknowingly reached Sweet Apple Acres, where Ziyue and Applejack were waiting at the entrance. Thank you all for coming to help me. I'm really sorry for what happened before, Applejack said apologetically. Everyone didn't say much and started picking apples according to ZU's groupings. While Applejack needed to take a good rest, Rainbow Dash and Pinky, Rarity and Trixie, Zhuyu and ZU, each group had their methods. And soon the apples on the eastern hillside of Sweet Apple Acres were all picked. Applejack rested well, and when she woke up, she thoughtfully prepared apple juice for everyone, also admitting her mistake. I'm sorry, everyone. I was a bit stubborn, Applejack said apologetically. Just a bit stubborn? ZU teased. All right, very stubborn. I'm honored that Little Pony Valley awarded me the Outstanding Pony Award, but nothing is a better reward for me than having you as my friends. I'm really happy to have you, Applejack admitted candidly. I'm so hungry from picking apples. Applejack, do you have anything to eat? Rainbow Dash asked. Huh. You want to eat? I have some here. After hearing this, Sulong brought out a plate of pastries. Hey, Sulong, those are the ones I threw away. Where did you get them? Pinky looked at the plate with disgust. I found them in the trash. They taste pretty good, Sulong said nonchalantly. EW. Everyone looked equally disgusted. Applejack quickly interrupted Sulong's disgusting behavior and led everyone to the cafeteria. Sulong continued to stubbornly persuade them, but they all refused. Taking advantage of Sulong's inattention, Zhuyu cast a spell to destroy the pastries on the plate. Sulong, you're still a little baby, no matter what. Don't dig through the trash for food. You saw how Pinky and the others looked with food poisoning today. Come on, let us eat this instead, Zhuyu said. Taking out some turquoise and handing it to Sulong, Sulong decisively discarded the dubious pastries and started munching on the gems. Chapter 13. Repairing the residence. Time flew by quickly, and Zhuyu's scheduled time for materials soon arrived. She teleported from the castle ruins to a spot not far from Little Pony Valley. Why not go directly to the designated location? Zhuyu thought, fearing she might scare other ponies. Just imagine, the shopkeeper is focused on working, and suddenly, Zhuyu appears like a live pony. Who wouldn't be startled? Over here. The lumber store's warehouse in Little Pony Valley was piled high with the wood that Zhuyu needed. The shopkeeper was very enthusiastic upon seeing Zhuyu, as she was one of the few big clients. Miss Zhuyu, I have prepared all the materials you need. Do you want me to deliver them to your residence? The shopkeeper showcased the neatly stacked wood in the warehouse. No need. You probably don't want to go there. Zhuyu inspected the quality and rejected the shopkeeper's proposal. The Eternal Freedom Forest is something that little ponies avoid at all costs. Can you take these materials yourself? The shopkeeper was a bit skeptical. It's a whole 6 warehouses of wood. Zhuyu smiled, gathered her magic, and a bright light flashed. All the warehouses were empty. The shopkeeper was dumbfounded. And Zhuyu left the remaining payment quietly. Zhuyu didn't stop and continued to look for Beaky. Candy House, no. Hall of Affairs, no. The small park, still no. Zhuyu searched all the places where Beaky might be, but she couldn't see any trace of her. Where on earth is Beaky? Zhuyu was quite irritated. Lying on a bench in the park. I'm exhausted, I don't want to move. Zhuyu, are you looking for Beaky? She's been chasing after Rainbow Dash all day today. This morning, when Beaky was next to me, she kept talking about Rainbow Dash's flying skills. When she saw Rainbow Dash, she dashed off after her. Ziyue walked up to Zhuyu with a thick stack of books beside her. Thank you, Ziyue. Beaky is really hard to find. Zhuyu felt quite despondent and looked up at the sky. What was that just now? A rainbow-colored light flew over from above the park, and Zhuyu's unfocused gaze focused on the rainbow. Rainbow Dash. Wait for me. Beaky bounced along slowly behind. Beaky, finally found you. Zhuyu did a flip and landed on the ground. Zhuyu? Is there something wrong? Beaky stopped. Beaky, I need to collect the stones I ordered from you before. Zhuyu said. Okay, Beaky, here's the remaining payment. Make sure to keep it safe. Zhuyu took out 4 bags of gold coins and handed them to Beaky. All right, then if there's nothing else, I'll go find Rainbow Dash. Beaky accepted the payment and slowly hopped towards Rainbow Dash. Zhuyu also bid farewell to Ziyue, and with a teleport, she appeared at the entrance of the forest. A little pony was guarding several containers, boredly swatting at small insects with its tail. Hello, are these the stones that Beaky ordered? Zhuyu approached and politely inquired. Thank you for the compliment, ma'am. I scanned it with magic, and there are no problems. Here's the signed receipt. The little pony returned the signed document to Zhuyu. Zhuyu didn't distrust Beaky, but went out in the world and dealing with third-party goods. One should always be cautious. Miss, do you need us to help you carry it home? The little pony asked, finding the unicorn in front of him very beautiful and unconsciously wanting to spend more time with her. Thank you, but no need. I can manage myself, Zhuyu said. And with a flash of magic, the containers vanished from the spot. As a result, another stunned little pony appeared. This time, Zhuyu didn't use magic, but strolled leisurely through the forest towards the castle ruins. Along the way, the animals and plants in the forest brought her many little fruits and herbs. Zhu Yu expressed her gratitude and accepted them all without hesitation. After all, how could she disappoint everyone's kind intentions? The wood and stone were neatly stacked at the castle entrance. Zhu Yu took some wooden planks and found some new ropes to first repair the drawbridge. Last time when Ziyue and the others came looking for the harmonizing element, they almost got hurt because of this drawbridge, so it's best to fix it up first. After a series of clanging sounds, Zhu Yu tied the ropes at both ends and tested the load-bearing capacity with some containers filled with stones. Sure enough, the new drawbridge was sturdy. Suddenly, a series of images flashed through Zhu Yu's mind. Hiss, this thing seems a bit familiar. Zhu Yu tapped her head. Can't remember. Let's clean up here first. Write a note, don't forget it. Zhu Yu took out her small notebook and noted down the images in her mind. After putting the notebook away, Zhu Yu began to tidy up her small room. Her small room was under the castle ruins. The entire underground of the castle had secret chambers, and in terms of scale, it was completely like an underground palace. Part of it was her data room, storing historical texts and images from various places, as well as her research notes. Another part was the living area, including her room, office, kitchen, leisure area, and exercise area, among others. Besides that, her laboratory was also here. One could say, there's nothing you can't think of. Whatever Pony Maria has, she has it here. Zhu Yu brought the materials and entered her room, clearing away the obstacles outside little by little, cleaning a bit and repairing a bit. Time passed unknowingly, and more than half of the living area of the underground palace was cleared. The first to be repaired were her room, office, and kitchen. The data room had her magical protection, so it should be fine. Zhu Yu felt a bit tired and collapsed on the sofa in the leisure area. After taking a deep breath, Zhu Yu stood up. With determination, today, she would clean out the entire underground palace. Without resting much, an idea flashed through her mind. A burst of magic appeared, creating many unicorns that looked exactly like Zhu Yu. However, the copied unicorns had no real thoughts. They just stared blankly at the original. Zhu Yu assigned tasks, and the unicorns each performed their duties, cleaning, moving things, and repairing. The large number of duplicates made Zhu Yu's magic dissipate quickly. But the results were also significant. With more helpers, Zhu Yu's underground palace was restored to its former glory, indistinguishable from before the damage. For safety, Zhu Yu also had them reinforce the walls with materials while manipulating them and used magic to create double protection. When the magic stopped, the unicorn army disappeared. Zhu Yu lay back on the sofa, taking a moment to recover. TSK, today's magic really felt a bit overused. Chapter 14. Griffin Gilda. Zhu Yu fell asleep on the sofa, and when she woke up again, it was from being pecked by a magical origami crane. Seeing Zhu Yu awake, the crane seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, unfolded, and floated down in front of her. Zhu Yu, I'm Beaky. Later today, there will be a party at the candy house to welcome Rainbow Dash's friends. If you have time, I hope you can come. By the way, Rainbow Dash's friend is a griffin. The letter was Beaky's invitation. Zhu Yu was a bit surprised. This origami crane was clearly made by Beaky herself. But Beaky didn't have magic, so how did she do it? Checking the time, Beaky had notified her for 6 p.m., and it was now 3 p.m., giving her 2.5 hours. It's her habit to reserve time in advance for invitations. Zhu Yu rested for a while, and her magic had recovered quite a bit. She checked the underground palace with magic and found no issues. It was time for the next step. Zhu Yu went to the upper room, the only entrance connected to the underground palace. It turned out to be a 3-story building, meant to conceal the secrets below. Without further ado, Zhu Yu summoned her unicorn team once again. This time, it was much simpler to control. 2.5 hours was a bit short for a palace, but for a 3-story building, it was more than enough. Don't forget, these are unicorns that can use magic. Zhu Yu took out her notebook and checked off the repair of the small room. Another task completed. As for the other buildings on the ground, that item on her notebook still hadn't been checked off. After spending some time, Zhu Yu washed herself thoroughly from horn to tail. After putting on the prepared gift and casting an invisibility barrier over the small building, she set off. At this time, at the candy house, Beaky was enthusiastically welcoming the visiting ponies. Welcome, 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 every pony. Beaky was very cheerful. Beaky, I'm here, I'm not late, am I? Zhu Yu entered the candy house and asked. Zhu Yu took a look around and saw Applejack, Ruru, Ziyue, and Jinshi all present. Jinshi, have you heard of Gilda from Yunbao? Applejack asked with a puzzled expression. I'm not too sure either, but I've heard she's an old friend of Yunbao. And she's a griffin, Jinshi replied with a tone of strong curiosity. Ruru, have you met Gilda? How is she? Is she easy to get along with? Ziyue inquired. Hearing this, Zhu Yu walked over, curious. Well, Ziyue, let's talk about these things later, Ruru replied with a conflicted expression. Ruru, Gilda got angry at you. Zhu Yu stated with certainty. Zhu Yu, I think I was just a bit scared. I'm not clear on what Biki's purpose is for this party, but I have a feeling something might happen. Ruru hesitated. Also, if because of our issues, it makes Yunbao uncomfortable among her friends, that feels really bad. Ruru, your worries have some merit, but the friendship between friends is a magical phenomenon that occurs during interactions. Besides, we know Yunbao, for some things. Just being direct with her is enough. Whether it's new friends or old friends, she will know their strengths and weaknesses, Zhu Yu said. Biki, do you really think holding a welcome party for Gilda is a good idea? Ruru walked over to Biki, looking conflicted. Don't worry, Ruru. Stop being concerned about that troublesome Gilda. Aunt Biki has already arranged everything for her, Biki said with a parental expression, patting Ruru on the head. Hey, I'm a year older than you, Ruru replied, a bit annoyed. At that moment, Zhu Yu noticed Yunbao walking in with a still underage griffin. The young griffin had a cool and confident expression on its face. Biki went to greet them. Hey, Gilda, I'm honored to host this gathering for you. And I sincerely hope you have fun here. Biki extended her hoof. Gilda shook it without any defenses, thinking that no one besides Yunbao was worth her attention. Zizi. Gilda got shocked and her feathers fluffed up. Ha ha ha. Biki, you really are something. This old-fashioned hoof-shaking doorbell idea is just brilliant. Gilda initially wanted to get angry, but held back upon hearing Yunbao's laughter. Gilda, welcome. This is a gift for you. Zhu Yu then presented the gift she had brought for Gilda. Gilda took the gift, and to Biki's surprise, she said a rare thank you. Upon opening the gift, she found a glittering gold necklace, which surprised her. Nowadays, very few young ponies knew that griffins liked shiny things. Wearing the necklace, Gilda felt a bit shy, but she didn't show it, maintaining her usual proud demeanor. Zhu Yu, seeing through the young griffin's thoughts, smiled and began enjoying the food with the other ponies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gilda, a longtime close friend of Yunbao. Let's give her a warm welcome to Ponyville. Biki introduced Gilda to everyone. Amid the applause, Gilda forced a smile. In the midst of everyone's surprised gazes, after Gilda ate a lemon candy, she was caught off guard by its sourness and wanted to drink water, only to be tricked by a leaking cup, getting laughed at by everyone. Gilda wanted to explode with anger, but restrained herself again at Yunbao's laughter. Look, Gilda, these gifts. Gilda ran over to Yunbao, where a pile of gift boxes was stacked. She pulled one out, and as soon as she opened it, a spraying snake toy made her fur stand on end. Ha ha ha, it's a spraying snake. A pony used it to prank me last month. Applejack laughed from the side. Oh, I think I know who it was, Gilda said, looking frustrated. Chapter 15. The events recorded in the notebook Ruru brought a very lively concert to Biki's party. As the birds' voices were a gift from nature, and under Ruru's direction, it became clear why natural music was so relaxing. All right, every pony, come eat cake. Biki rolled out a huge 2-tier cake. During this time, Gilda couldn't blow out the candles, which made the ponies laugh heartily, even knowing it wasn't malicious. Zhu Yu had to admit it was quite annoying and embarrassing. While playing the tail donning game, Gilda went the wrong way, tripped, and with her tail on her head. She was laughed at by a crowd of ponies, which made her explode with anger. Okay, Biki, if this is your so-called wonderful fun party, I can only say it's absolutely terrible. I've never seen so many clumsy fools in one place. And you, the one who thought up these awful and stupid party pranks, are the clumsy queen. Gilda was now ranting in anger. Come on, Yunbao, let's get out of here. This place is not cool at all. Gilda hugged Yunbao and walked toward the door. Yunbao? Gilda asked, confused, as Yunbao stood still. You know what, Gilda? All these so-called stupid pranks you encountered were set up by me, Yunbao said calmly. What? Gilda exclaimed in disbelief. So, I guess I'm the clumsy queen you mentioned. Gilda looked at Biki, but Yunbao blocked her view. This can't be. Don't joke around, Yunbao. How is this possible? Gilda still couldn't believe it. Gilda, these pranks weren't specifically aimed at you. You just happened to be unlucky, and you fell for almost all of my traps. Yunbao also hadn't expected Gilda to trigger most of the traps, one after another. Oh, I should have thought of it. That leaking cup and the spraying snake toy are totally Yunbao's style, Biki finally realized. No, Yunbao, you're kidding me, right? These were obviously all Biki's doing. She hosted this party just to prank me and make me look foolish. Gilda stubbornly believed it was all Biki's fault. Why would you think that? Gilda, I organized this party to change your attitude. A fun welcome party could give you a homey feeling. Biki turned her head completely around to look at Gilda. Gilda, enough. You can't be so unreasonable. I really didn't expect my old friend to treat my new friend this way. If you only care about being cool with me, maybe you should look for somewhere else. Yunbao's expression was resolute. The feeling of losing a friend was not good. Okay, Yunbao, you've really changed. You're no longer the Yunbao I used to know, Gilda said before slamming the door and leaving. So she doesn't like jokes, Suilong unexpectedly commented. The ponies were quite surprised, They hadn't expected Yunbao's old friend to have such a personality. I'm really sorry, everyone, for bringing Gilda here and causing so much trouble. I didn't know she would be so rude. And Beaky, I'm sorry for the disappointment after you went through so much to host a good party for Gilda. Yunbao felt guilty. She truly hadn't anticipated how much her old friend had changed. Hey, Yunbao, you wouldn't want to play with a friend who can't take a joke. Beaky smiled, not blaming Yunbao. Of course, I love playing with you. You're not mad, are you? Yunbao asked, extending her hoof to shake Beaky's. Zizi, you both got shocked. Flipping their hooves over, indeed, Beaky and Yunbao both had the old-fashioned hoof-shaking doorbell. Ha ha ha, both shocked. They exchanged a glance and burst out laughing. The surrounding ponies were also infected by this atmosphere and began to laugh. Come on, every pony, the party isn't over yet. Beaky called to everyone. And the music started playing again. By the time the party ended, it was already quite late. As she passed through the hall, she discovered an unexpected guest. Gilda, what are you doing here? Jiwa was quite surprised. Gilda had spread some hay in one corner. Ah, Gilda was startled. What? Can I stay here? You little ponies really have a lot of territory. Gilda picked up the hay she had prepared, thinking that if she couldn't stay here, finding a tree to make do for the night wouldn't be a problem. Hey, I didn't mean anything by it. Forget it, just come with me. Jiwa quickly stopped Gilda as she tried to leave. If it weren't so far from home, I wouldn't be making do in a place like this, Gilda muttered softly. But she obediently followed Jiwa. Are you okay? Did Rainbow Dash upset you today? Jiwa asked. In the Griffin world, everything, including friends, was exclusive. Seeing Rainbow Dash having so much fun with Pinkie Pie, Gilda felt neglected and couldn't help but feel jealous. If you don't mind, you can consider me your friend. I used to have some connections with your King Goodo. Jiwa tactfully changed the subject and led Gilda into her little building. Thank you, and I'm sorry. We Griffins don't have such friendly moments like you do, Gilda said a bit dejectedly. Losing a friend like Rainbow Dash still made her feel sad. You can stay here tonight. The right side of the second floor, you can rest there. I still don't know your name, Gilda asked shyly, holding her bedding. Jiwa. My name is Jiwa. Jiwa felt a bit happy. A Griffin, a rare friend indeed. Thank you, Jiwa, Gilda said, and after that, she flew directly up to the second floor. Jiwa shook her head. She was clearly a good kid, so why did she have this personality? The next morning, Jiwa went to Gilda's door, planning to wake her up. After knocking for a while and finding no response, she opened the door to find no sign of Gilda in the room. On the table, there were some fresh fruits. And beside them was a note awkwardly written with thank you. After putting away the note, Jiwa took the fruits from the table. Outside the window, leaves were falling, and everything seemed normal. When she got to the first floor, she put the small fruits away and took out her little notebook. She glued the recently found note onto it. Aha, looks like the little building needs some reinforcement. The notebook contained notes about the castle below, caves, trees, monkey-faced horses, goat horns, and the castle, which were easy to blow up. A monster with a monkey face and horse body was bombarding the forest, and even the castle ruins were not spared. After one explosion, only her little building remained standing. Not far below the castle, in a large cave of a valley, there was a sparkling tree softly glowing. Chapter 16. The New Unicorn. Without procrastination, Jiwa packed some food and also took the fruits left by Gilda. She set off for her destination, the cave with the tree. After passing through the barrier, Jiwa instantly teleported to the valley. While repairing the suspension bridge, she had nearly fallen into the valley several times. In this valley, she explored slowly. Jiwa gathered light sources, and the soft light dispelled the surrounding darkness. Soon, Jiwa found the tree that looked really nice. The cave was large, and at first, she thought she had taken a wrong turn until the horn on her head kept signaling with magic, leading her to the target. Unicorn magic. Why is it showing it this time? Jiwa tapped her horn in frustration. As she approached, Jiwa discovered that this tree had strong magical energy, and its aura felt very familiar. Some of it belonged to Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, some to the elements of harmony, and there were some familiar auras that she couldn't quite place. Jiwa thought for a moment and cast a spell. Anything related to the elements of harmony, no matter what, appearing in her mind must have significant importance. A shielding spell would fit perfectly. Stretching, Jiwa nibbled on a fruit while looking for a nearby path that didn't require magic. Otherwise, every time she came down, she would have to jump the bridge, which was a bit inconvenient. Not far from the cave, a staircase appeared before Jiwa, and she almost dropped her food. This path was too hidden. She hadn't noticed it when she came over. There were also furniture, bedding, daily necessities, self-defense tools, etc. All noted down one by one. Everything was recorded in her little notebook, solving one issue at a time. In the afternoon, after taking a nap, Jiwa got up and got to work. With a large basket she bought, She headed towards the everfree forest to look for some herbs. Time flew by, and with the help of the plants and animals in the forest, Zhiyue quickly filled her basket with herbs. The journey back was also cheerful. The birds picked many beautiful flowers to give to Zhiyue, and in the end, the excess flowers turned into a moving flower cart for her. After dealing with the flowers on her body and the herbs in the basket, she needed to find something to eat to fill her stomach. Teleporting not far from Ponyville, she walked into the town looking for a restaurant. After eating, Zhiyue felt rejuvenated. During this time, she heard that a powerful and dazzling unicorn had arrived in Ponyville. With a mouth full of sandwich, Zhiyue quietly leaned her ear towards that direction, curious about the powerful unicorn. However, the gossip that followed wasn't very pleasant to hear. Applejack got tangled in ropes, Rainbow Dash's speed was manipulated, and what was worse, when Rarity competed with that unicorn, her mane was not only turned into a rat's nest, but also turned green, leading her to a breakdown. Hearing this, Zhiyue quickly finished her food, settled the bill, and headed towards the Carousel Boutique. Rarity, are you in? Zhiyue knocked on the door. Zhiyue, what is the matter? Rarity opened the door, wrapped in clothes, her mane covered in a messy style. I heard a bit about the situation and came to see if you need help, Zhiyue said. Rarity stepped aside and pulled off the towel covering her mane. Oh, my goodness. Did that unicorn do all this? Zhiyue exclaimed. Rarity's long, curly mane had become a tangled mess, interspersed with green and gray. It's not that the colors were bad, but to Zhiyue, this appearance on Rarity looked quite awkward. Okay, Rarity, just calm down for a bit. I have a way to help. You just find a place to sit. Zhiyue comforted Rarity's emotions, as this appearance had her on the edge of a breakdown. Hearing that Zhiyue had a solution, Rarity obediently sat down. Zhiyue looked at Rarity's main situation. Transformation spell. Color change spell. It's okay, finding the magic used makes it much easier to undo. Zhiyue concentrated her magic on Rarity's mane. Rarity, tell me about that unicorn. Zhiyue said, finding a chair and sitting across from Rarity. She claimed to be the greatest and most versatile Trixie, with powerful magic, and she even defeated a bear, bragging nonstop about how strong her magic is. Applejack's rodeo skills, Rainbow Dash's speed, my elegance and charm, all lost. Rarity seemed a bit dejected. Of course, if you were here, Zhiyue, with all the magic you know, you could definitely defeat Trixie. Zhiyue smiled and listened as Rarity continued. I think I understand the situation. Is there still a performance this afternoon? Zhiyue asked. Of course, there's also her exaggerated fireworks show. Rarity rolled her eyes, showing no admiration for Trixie. After wandering through furniture stores, hardware stores, and general stores, Zhiyue found that she had used up most of her materials last time. So this time she bought everything she needed. As she passed through the square, Zhiyue saw a carriage with peculiar graffiti and patterns on the outside. A silver-haired, blue-bodied unicorn was in front of the carriage, looking in a mirror and styling her mane. Two unicorns eagerly offered Trixie milkshakes. Trixie said something that I don't know, and the two little unicorns left with respectful expressions. After walking for a while, Zhiyue found a place to rest. Hey, Suilong, what's wrong? Zhiyue noticed Suilong looking very unhappy and invited him to sit across from her. She handed him some green gems. Oh, Zhiyue, you don't know how stubborn Zhiyue is. She could easily surpass that Trixie and protect everyone, but she just won't, Suilong said angrily, biting into a gem. She sees that Trixie is disliked by everyone, and subconsciously thinks that if she reveals her magic, her friends will dislike her too. So she's afraid to step forward, right? Zhiyue guessed. Suilong, with his mouth full of gems, chewed loudly and gestured in agreement upon hearing Zhiyue's analysis. Are you saying that Zhiyue is resisting her magical growth? It seems that way, Zhiyue replied. Chapter 17. The Bear Crisis. This is going to be difficult. Zhiyue took a sip of her freshly ordered milkshake. What do you mean? Suilong asked, sounding worried. Oh no, I didn't mean Zhiyue. In her situation, only she can find her way out. Right now, she won't listen to anyone's advice. But this is also a good opportunity for her to grow, isn't it? And hey, Suilong, be careful eating those gems, you might choke again. Zhiyue patted Suilong's back, recalling how he had choked earlier. Cough, cough, cough. Thanks to you, Zhiyue. I almost choked, Suilong said, catching his breath. By the way, what did you mean by difficult? Do you need help? Suilong asked curiously. No, but I think you should go find Zhiyue. Zhiyue pointed in a direction. Suilong screamed and dashed off towards the Golden Oak Library. Hey, Suilong, don't run so fast. Be careful. Zhiyue shook her head, wondering why he was in such a hurry. Zhiyue stayed put, watching the two unicorns being chased by the Constellation Bear as they ran straight towards Trixie's carriage. Trixie, Trixie. The unicorns knocked on the carriage door. What? The great and powerful Trixie has said not to disturb her beauty sleep. Trixie yawned, looking groggy. Trixie, we have a little problem. the blue unicorn said. Actually, it's a big problem, the orange unicorn added. What kind of big problem is so urgent that you can't wait until tomorrow morning? Trixie asked impatiently. With a roar, Trixie suddenly looked embarrassed. She turned to see a bear approaching, roaring. Ah! Trixie screamed and ran away from her carriage, which was then smashed to pieces by the oncoming constellation bear. Fueled by Trixie's minor magic, the constellation bear became enraged, chasing the 3 unicorns and wreaking havoc. Ugh! This is really troublesome, Zhuyu said, putting down her finished milkshake and moving to a spot not far from the constellation bear. The bear's roars startled many little ponies, causing them to scatter in all directions. Zhuyu used her magic to occasionally save a few stragglers. We've attracted a big bear, but don't worry. We have the greatest and most powerful Trixie here, so everything will be fine, 2 little ponies said calmly from a distance. What? Ziyue exclaimed in shock. Is it the big bear she knows? Zhuyu saved another little pony, and, upon hearing what the 2 little unicorns said, almost lost her temper. I can't, Trixie said. The 2 little unicorns were shocked. I can't. I've never defeated a big bear. That was just a story I made up to make myself seem greater, Trixie said as the constellation bear drew near. The little ponies were surprised to be in Zhuyu's protective circle. None of them had ever experienced such a furious bear up close. I'm going to find Ruru, Yunbao said and started to fly toward Ruru's house. Wait, Yunbao, look. Applejack pulled Yunbao's tail again. Yunbao straightened her tail's fur and looked towards the constellation bear's direction. She saw Ziyue standing in front of the constellation bear with a serious expression, nervously swallowing as she gathered her magic. Of course, while sending away the bear, Zhuyu added a healing spell. The little guy stumbled along just to catch the one who disturbed its sleep. Oh, please, don't hate me, everyone, Ziyue said without any joyful expression, even though everyone was cheering for her. Dear, how could you think that? We know you have magic. But we didn't expect it to be this strong, Jinshi said in surprise. As a unicorn, having special talent and magic is essential. Even among unicorns, most spend their efforts on the path led by cuteness. I've rarely seen magic as strong as Ziyue's. I know how much everyone hates Trixie for showing off her magic. I'm really scared that everyone will dislike me because of my magic, Ziyue said anxiously. Ziyue, how can you think like that? We dislike Trixie because she's rude and likes to show off, which makes everyone uncomfortable, Yunbao said, hovering in the air with a surprised expression. So everyone doesn't mind that I have magic? Ziyue asked, puzzled. Oh dear, you represent the essence of magic, remember? Zhuyu tapped Ziyue's head, baffled by how such a smart little head could get stuck in a rut. Of course, dear, your magic is part of who you are. And we're glad to be friends with someone like you. Besides, if all unicorns were like you, Ponyville would have been in chaos long ago, Applejack said. And look at Jinshi and Zhuyu, they're also unicorns. You're just thinking too negatively. Yunbao flew next to Ziyue and rubbed her head. And after you sent that big bear away, we're proud to have a friend like you. Really? Thank you all, Ziyue said, feeling deeply moved. Wow, Ziyue. How did you know how to deal with the big bear? Suilong asked. Trixie's words piqued my curiosity, so I looked up some information and studied bears. When you came to find me, I happened to see that, Ziyue said proudly, as it was her habit to seek answers when faced with questions. So, you defeated that big bear on your own? Suilong's smile was now hard to hide. That wasn't a big bear, just a little bear, a bear cub. It's still in its juvenile stage and hasn't been weaned yet, Ziyue explained. It came here just because some little ponies woke it up while it was sleeping, Ziyue said, glaring at the 2 culprits. And it only wanted to teach you 2 a lesson. It didn't mean for it to escalate into this situation. Originally, the little guy was having sweet dreams, Zhuyu added. Everyone's attention immediately shifted to the 2 little unicorns. Huh, maybe you defeated a little bear, but you'll never have the special abilities of the great and powerful Trixie, Trixie said, releasing a smoke bomb. As the smoke cleared, only Trixie's retreating figure could be seen. Hey, don't run. Yunbao wanted to chase after her, but was stopped by Ziyue. Let her go, Yunbao. She has learned her lesson, Ziyue said, watching Trixie run away. Now it's your turn, Ziyue said, blocking the 2 little unicorns who were about to sneak away. We are very sorry for waking the little bear and causing everyone so much trouble. We just wanted to see more amazing magic, the orange unicorn said. Yeah, the way you defeated the little bear was really awesome, the blue unicorn added. The 2 still hadn't realized the seriousness of the situation. If they dared to provoke the little bear this time, who knows what might happen next time. Upon seeing Ziyue's serious expression, they lowered their heads. We are willing to accept any punishment. Finally, Ziyue asked them to help clean up the trash, and under Suilong's strong insistence, they accepted the punishment of the long-bearded man together. According to Suilong, he said that he would only acknowledge Trixie as the greatest magician if a big bear was defeated by her on the street, which led Snip and Snail, the two little unicorns, to provoke the little bear. Yes, among the two little unicorns, the shorter blue one is Snip, the taller orange one is Snail. When everyone had nearly left, Jue concentrated her magic on the spot and repaired the damaged environment and buildings. However, she did not touch the wreckage of Trixie's cart. After all, it was the punishment for the two little ones. Chapter 18. Special friends. Jue hadn't gone anywhere these days and had experimented with a small magic in the training room. After several days of not going out, she decided to find something to eat. Jue stretched and walked out from underground. She entered the Eternal Freedom Forest, searching for fruits among the trees. The animals in the forest were very friendly, bringing her small fruits, nuts, and herbs. Jue saw the herbs mixed in with the food and helplessly realized that they remembered her from a previous time when she had asked them to help find herbs. So they were giving them to her as soon as they saw her. Jue did not refuse the animals' kindness and accepted everything. The animals in the forest successfully received a good rub from Jue. One by one, the little animals, with their fur all fluffed up, waved their paws or wings to bid farewell to Jue. Holding a pile of things, Jue walked toward the castle. Bam! She bumped into something. Sorry, are you okay? Jue helped the little pony she had knocked down and tidied up the scattered luggage on the ground. Beautiful lady, thank you for your help. A deep and elegant voice sounded, giving Jue goosebumps. Hello, I'm Jue. Nice to meet you. Did you just move here? Are you moving to Ponyville? I can help you. Jue introduced herself warmly. Although she couldn't see the face of the little pony in the hooded robe, she felt a good impression of her. Hello Jue, I'm Keela. I live in the Eternal Freedom Forest. Thank you very much for your help, the little pony calmly said as she took off her hood. Keela, is this a magic book about herbs that you're carrying? Jue chatted with Keela and accidentally caught a glimpse of the book in Keela's luggage. This unicorn inexplicably felt familiar to her. Keela, this is your home? We are neighbors now, Jue said as she walked to Keela's little house and found that it was not far from her castle. Thank you, Jue. I need to unpack today, so I can't keep you for tea, Keela said when Jue put down her luggage. Then I won't disturb you. By the way, Keela, my home is over there in the castle ruins. If you have time, I hope you can come over as a guest, Jue said, not wanting to linger too long, and bid farewell before leaving. Keela watched Jue's departing figure. A mysterious little pony carrying distant memories would bring changes to the trajectory of fate. Adjusting her robe, Keela walked into her little house. She really liked Keela and decided to be friends with her. After Keela finished tidying her little house, Jue occasionally went to Keela's house to play, and they agreed to go out together to look for magical herbs. What's wrong, Keela? Jue asked curiously, as she rarely saw such an expression on Keela's face. I don't know why, but all the shops in Ponyville are closed, Keela said as she took off her robe and hung it on a rack. What herbs do you need? I can help you buy them, Jue offered, sitting up. I need some wormwood and that glowing blue moon grass that's in Ponyville, Keela said directly without hesitation. Jue noted it down, then in a flash, disappeared from the spot. Keela looked around and found several herbs from the rack to start brewing potions. Ponyville was empty on the streets, with shop doors and windows tightly closed. Even though it was sunny, the streets still appeared a bit eerie. Sizzle, Jue, over here. Beaky called Jue, who was walking alone on the street, to the candy house. Hi, Beaky, is there an event today? Jue asked curiously. Oh hi, everyone is here. Inside the house, Jue and all her friends were gathered, along with Apple Lily. We were just talking about a zebra that lives in the Eternal Freedom Forest, Applejack said in a tone of fear. Eternal Freedom Forest? What is wrong there? Jue didn't understand. Jue, you don't know? The Eternal Freedom Forest is not normal at all. The plants grow by themselves, Applejack said. The animals take care of themselves, said Rarity. And the clouds in the sky move on their own, added Rainbow Dash. Is there a possibility that this is the normal situation? Exclaimed Jinchi, falling to the ground. Besides, I also live in the Eternal Freedom Forest and Haven T felt anything wrong there, Jue rebutted, insisting that the Eternal Freedom Forest was quite good. Well, Jue, you must not have encountered Keela, that witch, who must be doing her bad deeds there, stirring strange potions all day and reciting incomprehensible spells, Beaky said indignantly, believing these were things Keela would typically do since no pony had such patterns. Jue rolled her eyes from the side. She had already said that those were patterns Keela brought with her, but they still didn't believe it. Oh, friends, I think you have some misunderstandings about Keela. She is a very friendly zebra. In distant lands, zebras are a special race, just like ponies. You just don't understand her, Jue defended her friend. Jue, don't be deceived by the witch, Beaky warned. But what you're saying is all hearsay. Can you tell me what bad things Keela has done? Jue felt helpless that her friends were so quick to judge a pony they didn't know. Exactly, Jue quietly agreed. Finally, Someone spoke up. She comes to Ponyville once a week, Rainbow Dash thought for a moment. She always comes near the shops, Jinchi added. Anything else? Ziyue raised an eyebrow. She also digs in the soil beside the shops with her hooves, Rarity said quietly, sensing that Ziyue's expression was not quite right. Oh, is this considered a bad deed? Perhaps she just comes to town to see, buy some food or daily necessities, Ziyue said, feeling speechless. Exactly. Or maybe she just wants to shop. All ponies love to shop, Apple Lily chimed in from the side. Apple Lily. Adults are talking, kids shouldn't interfere. Even though Applejack's legs were still trembling, she didn't want to hear Apple Lily speak for that evil witch. If any of us understands her, perhaps the truth will be revealed, Ziyue said when Ziyue came out and happened to hear this. Ziyue shook her head, saying, I've told you the truth. Why don't you believe it? Ziyue's sister, wait, Apple Lily's small voice came from behind. Ziyue stopped. What's wrong, little cutie? Ziyue was very gentle. She had 100 patience with the young ones. I want to go find Keela with you and see what kind of pony she is, Apple Lily said persistently. Thinking that since her sister always didn't believe her, she would go to find Keela to prove it to her. Chapter 19. Everyone's prejudice. Did you tell Applejack? Ziyue asked. If Applejack knew her sister was missing, it would be a big deal. No. I came out by myself. Apple Lily initially wanted to say that Applejack knew, but thinking about the consequences of being caught, she told the truth. All right, I know now. You come with me. I'll send a paper crane to Applejack with the news, Ziyue said, rubbing Apple Lily's soft head. She conjured a paper crane to deliver a message to Applejack. Watching the 1,000 paper cranes fluttering towards the candy house, Ziyue took Apple Lily to buy some herbs. After leaving the shop, Ziyue wrapped her arms around Apple Lily. Next, you might feel a little dizzy. Ziyue had given a heads up in advance. What? Before Apple Lily could react, she was whisked away by Ziyue. At the candy house. Hey, has anyone seen Apple Lily? Where's Apple Lily? Applejack looked around the candy house, but didn't see any sign of Apple Lily. The door is open. She wouldn't have gone outside, right? Jinchi said worriedly. Could it be that we said we needed a pony to find Cola? And this little one want to find Cola herself? Beaky said uncertainly. Oh no, how could this little one run off to the eternal freedom forest by herself? I told her not to wander off. As soon as Applejack heard this, she immediately ran out of the candy house. The other ponies exchanged glances and followed suit. At this moment, 1,000 paper cranes slowly flew in. After circling around, it landed in front of the still-present Ziyue. Ziyue quickly glanced at the contents and took off after Applejack. Applejack, wait up. Apple Lily went with Ziyue. With Ziyue there, you can relax. Ziyue shouted as she ran. Ziyue, is that true? Even with Ziyue there, I won't let Apple Lily stay with that witch. Applejack's stubbornness flared up again. As she spoke, Applejack stepped into the forest. To prevent Applejack from going in alone, everyone followed one after another. Meanwhile, in Cola's small hut, with a bang, Ziyue and Apple Lily appeared. Sister Ziyue, this is really a bit too thrilling. Apple Lily swayed, her eyes sparkling. You'll get used to it. How do you feel now? Ziyue noticed that Apple Lily's reaction was quite severe and cast a healing spell. I feel much better. Thank you, sister. Apple Lily shook her head, feeling much more comfortable. Weren't we here to buy herbs? Who is this little pony? Cola steadied the swaying pot and asked. These are the herbs you need. See if the quantity is enough. This little pony is Apple Lily, my friend's sister. She's quite curious about you. So I brought her along to take a look. Ziyue handed Cola the herbs and introduced Apple Lily. Apple Lily looked at Cola looking at her and unconsciously hid behind Ziyue. Why you hello, Cola, I'm Apple Lily. I'm sorry for coming without a heads up. Apple Lily was still a bit scared, and under the influence of Beaky and the others, she wasn't sure what kind of pony Cola was. Hello, lovely Apple Lily. Have a cup of fresh herbal tea to soothe your little head. Cola poured a cup of freshly brewed herbal tea for Apple Lily. Of course, Ziyue's was not forgotten either. Thank you, Cola. This tea is really delicious, it tastes like juice. Apple Lily set aside her fear. Cola was actually quite nice. Cola, this tea has a bit more fragrance than the last time. What is it? How come I didn't taste it? Ziyue took a sip. She could recognize several common ingredients, but only one was quite mysterious. No wonder, Cola, I've never had this combination before. Next time, if you prepare this again, I'll definitely recognize it. Ziyue was not convinced. Her memory was a bit confused. This was something she hadn't tasted before, but she would remember the flavor. And next time, she would definitely guess it right. Hee hee. Apple Lily watched the interaction between Ziyue and Cola, feeling no fear at all. Everyone really had too many misunderstandings about Cola. At this moment, a paper crane flew in front of Ziyue. I'll lead you out. Cola put on her robe and led the way for them. When ponies came to her place, they usually took the wrong path because the main road was much harder to walk than the side paths. Apple Lily followed closely behind Zhuyu and Cola. Not far into their walk, Zhuyu saw Applejack leading the way, followed by Ziyu and the others. Apple Lily, how dare you come here by yourself? Applejack rushed over anxiously. Be careful, you little ponies. The blue leaves have different ideas. Cola warned when she saw the group of ponies. I warn you. Stop talking nonsense. Applejack immediately hoisted Apple Lily onto her back. The other ponies, except for Ziyu, echoed her sentiment. Applejack, you've misunderstood. Be careful of the blue plants under your hooves. Zhuyu was anxious. Why couldn't these ponies understand the warning? Zhuyu, you must have been fooled by Cola. The blue leaf plants are not dangerous at all. Stop scaring us. Applejack didn't believe it and thought Zhuyu had been bewitched. Oh my goodness. Ziyu rolled her eyes from the side. You all sigh? Forget it. Cola, wait for me. Zhuyu was frustrated. How could this group of ponies be so stubborn? I really don't understand. Zhuyu has made it very clear. Why do they have such a strong prejudice against Cola? Ziyu was quite confused. Come on, Ziyu. She is a witch. You never know what kind of curse she might cast on you. And you, Apple Lily. Why can't you listen to your sister and stay away from Cola? Applejack criticized her little sister. Apple Lily pouted, saying what? Sister clearly doesn't know anything. Chapter 20. Is it a curse? Come on, there's no such thing as a curse in this world. Ziyu countered Applejack's words. Ziyu, it's quite unconvincing to hear that from a unicorn like you. Yunbao flew among the blue plants, complaining. Beaky bounced around in the thicket of plants, bringing the blue leaves to the other ponies. My magic is unicorn magic, a magic that unicorns are born with, and can only be used when it comes from the heart. The so-called curses you mention are just illusions created in history by some ponies using smoke and mirrors. Ziyu spoke confidently. She absolutely did not believe there were curses in the world. Just wait and see, Ziyu. You will find out that what we say is true. Some pony legends are not false. Applejack said with certainty, believing that Ziyu would soon realize that curses were indeed real. On the other side, Ziyu caught up with Cola. Cola, I'm really sorry. They have a lot of prejudice against you. Earlier, they were quite rude, and I apologize on their behalf. Moreover, if I hadn't brought Apple Lily here without permission, they wouldn't have come over and said such things. Zhuyu felt quite apologetic. The prejudice against Cola was already significant, and the words spoken during their first meeting weren't very pleasant. Zhuyu, they are them, and you are you. You don't need to apologize to me for them. The joke about the blue plants might change their minds. Cola didn't mind the pony's rudeness to her. Zhuyu was her friend now. I'm really sorry, Cola. Zhuyu still felt quite embarrassed. After all, Applejack and the others were also her friends. Now we need to find herbs for the antidote. Those ponies will be feeling unwell because of the toxin joke. Cola quickly interrupted Zhuyu. All right, leave it to me. Cola. Zhuyu patted her chest to assure her. Cola nodded, indicating she believed her, and then went to rummage through her herbs. With a whistle from Zhuyu, many small animals gathered outside Cola's hut. Zhuyu showed the small animals what the needed herbs looked like, and soon, the small animals scattered to find herbs in the forest. Your method is really convenient. Cola was simmering the potion in the pot and spoke to Zhuyu. Of course, no one knows the forest better than the little animals. I trust them to get things done. Zhuyu felt quite proud. There were many types of animals in the forest, and they could find whatever they needed, whether it was food or supplies. Moreover, according to a little squirrel, it felt very comfortable to be near Zhuyu. Their wounds or pains healed faster in her presence. Under normal circumstances, plants would gain intelligence after 3 years, while animals would do so much earlier, roughly around 3 months old. Zhuyu was special and provided them with great feedback, so they were very willing to help her. Thank you, little ones, I really appreciate your help. If you don't mind, you can find some delicious treats in my little garden. I hope you will like them. Zhuyu patted the heads of the little animals. The sounds of chirping, quacking, and hissing filled the air. All right, of course, you are always welcome to come over. But I haven't repaired it yet. It's quite shabby. Are you sure it's okay for you to stay there? Zhuyu asked when she heard that the little animals wanted to settle near her home. After receiving positive feedback, the little animals were overjoyed, calling their families to prepare for the move. Watching the bustling little animals, Zhuyu walked into Cola's small house with the herbs. Is that all we need to do? Zhuyu watched as Cola tossed a few herbs into the pot and stirred. It needs to sit for a night. Tomorrow we can add fresh milk fruits to store it. Cola covered the pot and kept the flame very low to maintain the temperature of the herbal potion. At the doorway, Zhuyu could hardly believe her eyes. The previously desolate small building was now surrounded by vibrant magical flowers competing for beauty. And next to the small building, there were now trees bearing various nuts and fruits. Not far from the garden, there was a neatly arranged herbal field. This left Zhuyu dazzled. She was completely stunned. It was like a zoo here, but thinking about it, most of it still resembled ruins. and the safety of the little animals was not guaranteed. With a flick of magic, Zhuyu expanded the barrier, altering the homes of the little animals within so that each one had its own space, and they wouldn't interfere with each other. Early the next morning, Zhuyu arrived at Cola's small house and found Apple Lily there. Apple Lily, what are you doing here? Does Apple Gyre know? Zhuyu asked curiously, knowing that Apple Gyre would never let Apple Lily come to Cola alone. My sister knows, Zhuyu. You won't believe what I saw this morning. Apple Lily recalled how Apple Gyre looked in the morning, feeling a bit sad. What happened? Take your time. Zhuyu patted Apple Lily's back. My sister became really small, afraid of being stepped on. Beaky turned into a big tongue and couldn't talk. Jinshi grew long for all over and was unrecognizable. Ziyue's horns became very soft and couldn't use magic. Yunbao's wings grew backward, crashing everywhere while flying. And Ru, on the surface, looked fine, but when she spoke, her voice was even lower than my brother Maidawa's. Apple Lily quickly recounted all the symptoms of the little ponies. If I hadn't insisted on coming with you yesterday, would everyone have turned out like this? Apple Lily felt a bit guilty. Sweetheart, how could you think that? You came to help everyone clear their misunderstandings about Cola. And besides, they touched those blue plants even after Cola, and I warned them. Can you blame that on yourself? Zhuyu comforted Apple Lily. So their symptoms are a curse from the blue plants? Apple Lily asked. It's not a curse. The blue plants just played a prank to make everyone laugh. That's why those blue plants are also called toxic jokes, Cola said as she opened her pot, which was still bubbling gently. See, Cola said those plants are harmless. They just need to take a herbal bath. Zhuyu patted Apple Lily's head. Zhuyu, please take Apple Lily to pick some fresh milk fruits with dew. This herbal bath will make the little ponies feel so comfortable they'll forget everything. Cola unhesitatingly asked Zhuyu for help. Chapter 21. Misunderstanding resolved. All right, Apple Lily. Come with me. Just remember that fresh milk fruits don't last long, especially the ones with dew. Zhuyu took a few baskets and led Apple Lily out of Cola's small house. Apple Lily, look, these round and red ones are the best. Zhuyu quickly arrived at the growth area of the milk fruits. She picked one as a sample for Apple Lily to reference. Sister Zhuyu, since this berry is red, why is it called milk fruit? Apple Lily picked a perfectly shaped one and placed it in her little basket. You see, the inside of this fruit is white, and the soup or potion made from it will eventually turn milky white. So, the little ponies who discovered this named it milk fruit for convenience. Zhuyu explained as she broke one open and stuffed it into Apple Lily's mouth. It tastes good. Apple Lily was surprised. Not bad, huh? Don't worry, eating a little now is fine. It hasn't reached a medicinal amount. Plus, it's very refreshing. Many little animals love to eat it, Zhuyu said while picking and eating. Then why do people say it has a very short lifespan? Apple Lily was curious about this knowledge. Apple Lily, look, the sunlight is coming in. Zhuyu continued picking fruits as sunlight streamed in. Wow, Sister Zhuyu. You know so much. Apple Lily exclaimed, immediately filling her other basket with many purple berries. Apple Lily stuffed her mouth full of berries and nodded vigorously as she listened to Zhuyu. However, as soon as she entered, she was stunned by the messy room in front of her. Oh my goodness, what happened, Cola? Zhuyu cautiously walked into the small house. What greeted her was an overturned herbal pot, herbs scattered everywhere. The room was a complete mess. And Ziyue was butting heads with Cola while the shrunken Apple Gyre was trying to pull Cola's ear. Zhuyu, Cola is going to cook Apple Lily into soup. Ziyue blocked their path. Oh my gosh, you guys really? Cola is making a potion, not trying to cook Apple Lily. Zhuyu stood still and cast a restoration spell. Except for the overturned pot, the other damaged bottles and decorations were restored to their original state. Apple Lily, are you alright? Apple Gyre temporarily let go of Cola's ear. Why would I be in trouble? I was just helping to find some herbs, Apple Lily replied, puzzled. Because Cola is an evil witch. She not only cursed everyone, but also wants to cook you into soup, Ziyue said with a serious face. Ha. Ziyue, how could you believe such silly claims? There are no curses in this world. You said so yourself. Apple Lily glanced at Ziyue and laughed. Come on, Apple Lily. Look at us now and still say there are no curses, Ziyue pointed at everyone's state. This is not a curse at all, little ponies. I told you before to be careful of the plants with blue leaves, Cola explained. Humph, serves you right for not listening. Zhuyu muttered as she cleaned up the spilled potion on the ground. Those blue leaf plants are not poisonous, but they are called toxic jokes, Apple Lily added. They look a lot like poisonous mushrooms, but their effects are just a prank, Cola said with a smile. This group of little ponies has misunderstood quite a bit. Can you briefly explain what she means, little ma? Applejack stood on Cola's head in confusion. I think Cola means that the blue leaf plants we encountered while coming to find Apple Lily were just playing a joke on us. And these symptoms are just a joke. Ziyue is truly an encyclopedia. Then how do you explain that pot? And the apple lily soup? Yunbao stared at Cola. The incomprehensible incantations. Next is Ro. And those terrifying decorations. Then there's Jinchi. These are treasures I brought from my hometown. These decorations are milestones left behind by our ancestors. The songs I recited are like the children's stories you all usually hear, Cola explained. Moreover, treating the poison joke only requires a natural remedy. Just mix some herbal juice for a bubble bath. Apple Lily was still adding fuel to the fire. But I've searched all the books and found no methods. Cola, where did you find this natural remedy? Ziwa asked, looking at the book Cola had placed on the desk. It's in this book, but unfortunately, your library management hasn't preserved any trace of it. Cola closed the book Ziwa was looking at and pointed to the title. Supernatural Phenomena. In fact, Cola, my library management has this book, but its content is all about curses, zombies, vampires, etc., so I didn't read it closely. Ziwa looked at Cola, feeling very ashamed. She originally had the chance to prove that everyone's situation was not a curse, but out of prejudice, she didn't read the book properly when Suelong handed it to her. I am very sorry, Cola. The answer was right in front of me, and because of prejudice, I didn't search for the answer carefully. Even after Zhuyu reminded me several times, I still held on to my bias against you. Ziwa lowered her head in shame. Perhaps next time you can learn to think properly instead of relying on hearsay to distinguish right from wrong, Cola teased. Everyone felt ashamed by Cola's words and averted their eyes from her. Cola, could you please brew us another pot of herbal water? Ziwa pleaded. Of course. I can brew another pot, but I'm still missing a type of herb that only exists in Ponyville. Cola didn't pay much attention to Ziwa and the others' misunderstandings. In this world, just being yourself is enough. A person of integrity is not afraid of shadows. I don't know why, but every time Cola goes to town, all the shops are closed. Apple Lily said, occasionally glancing at everyone. Humph, I said it wouldn't work. It has to be the indigenous ponies like Applejack that work. Zhuyu muttered in the corner. Oh, perhaps we can help with this. Ziyu glanced at the uneasy little ponies beside her. Chapter 22. The normal ponies. Everyone arrived in town. The ponies in the town looked at this group of uniquely styled ponies and determined that they were all cursed by Cola. In an instant, the whole street fell silent. The ponies hid in their houses, observing as Ziyu knocked on the door of a shop and talked to the shopkeeper, indirectly letting everyone know that the rumors about Cola were false. Finally, in the spa of Ponyville, Cola had the owner prepare a pool that could accommodate all 6 of them, poured the herbal juice into the pool, and Ziyu and the others returned to normal. Zhuyu, we are sorry for not believing you at that time, thinking you were misled by Cola. Of course, now is not the time. Everyone apologized to Zhuyu, as she was still pouting visibly. Humph, this time I'll generously forgive you, but there can't be a next time, Zhuyu said fiercely. Of course, in everyone's eyes. This was just a sulk. Ah, it feels so good to talk, don't you think so, Ro? Beaky suddenly dove up, popping out. Of course. Ro regained her sweet voice. Miss Cola, could you tell me the recipe for this herbal bath? It is truly amazing. The owner of the spa came over to inquire, as after soaking, Ziyu and the others not only returned to their original forms, but also had much smoother skin, which was very appealing to many beauty-conscious ponies. During this time, Zhuyu also listened to Ziyu's report to Princess Celestia. Dear Princess Celestia, this week, my friends, and I learned an important lesson. Never define a pony based on hearsay, and always listen to your friends' words without being stubborn. Some ponies may look different from others, but you need to see through their appearance to understand their hearts. True friends do not care about appearances. Only by understanding the heart can you discover unique beauty. And always remember, harsh truths are hard to hear. Your most loyal student, Ziyu. Zhuyu was very impressed. Ziyu was indeed diligent in reporting her learning insights. Princess Celestia was truly enviable to have such a student. Taking this opportunity, Zhuyu asked Beaky how she made the paper crane earlier. Beaky demonstrated it for her, leaving her dumbfounded. She watched as Beaky took a piece of paper, folded it this way and that, blew on it, and it was done. Ziyu, who was soaking in the herbal water, almost slipped into the pool upon seeing this. Beaky, how did you do that? Ziyu discovered yet another thing she couldn't understand. Didn't I show you how? Just fold it this way and that, and it's fine. Beaky jumped out of the pool, her words making them feel very stifled. It's a unicorn's magic, after all. Beaky truly lives up to being a divine steed. Zhuyu marveled. Truly, the world is vast and full of wonders. Cola was at home organizing the herbs Zhuyu had brought her. Upon entering the house, she was greeted by the soft little squirrel, Gigi. According to Gigi, everyone had gone out to find food, and some were sleeping and hadn't come out. Zhuyu patted Gigi's little head and took it into the little building. Gigi obediently stood on Zhuyu's back, its big tail wrapping around Zhuyu's neck. Zhuyu lay on a long chair made of wicker and opened a book. Gigi nestled beside her, curling itself up with its big tail, and fell asleep. Zhu Yu used magic to levitate it, placed a small blanket on it, and then set Gigi down. This child is probably about to awaken its racial talent. It mustn't catch a cold. Zhu Yu flipped through book after book, her mind quickly recording ancient knowledge, which gradually became clearer as she turned the pages. By sunset, there were already 3 piles of books beside Zhu Yu's wicker chair. After all, her talent included rapid browsing and photographic memory. At this moment, Gigi emitted a soft glow. A light blue aura surrounded the little squirrel. Its patterns became more distinct, its fur shone brighter, and 2 tufts of fur grew on its ears. Gigi woke up, excitedly circling around Zhu Yu, nearly falling to the ground. Good, good, our Gigi is amazing. The talent skill turns out to be reconnaissance. Zhu Yu was quite surprised. Squirrels' talents are mostly related to finding things, but there are also other talents. However, that was a very long time ago. In this era, even awakenings were rare. Suddenly, a particularly unique little squirrel emerged from the group, possessing such a special ability. If it were in the wild, it would greatly reduce the mortality rate of the group. Gigi affectionately snuggled up to Zhu Yu for a while before going to share the good news with the group. Zhu Yu glanced at the time, tidied up the books, went upstairs, and went to sleep. Zhu Yu had a nightmare. In the dream world, she was very beloved, seemingly still in the form of a celestial unicorn. One day, disaster struck. Certain beings attempted to change the development of the world, pulling the current world off its course. As punishment, she was turned into a unicorn and occasionally fell into a deep sleep. When she first woke up, she had become a criminal who altered fate, abandoned by the beings she had saved. The dream shook for a moment, and Zhu Yu suddenly woke up. How could she dream of such distant events? Unable to sleep, Zhu Yu went downstairs to pour herself a glass of water. Her dreams often had a prophetic nature, and she wondered what this dream might tell her. Zhu Yu took out her notebook again to jot it down. After drinking the water, she felt much better. Her palpitations calmed down, and she was completely wide awake. She walked to the study and began flipping through ancient records about the dream horse. After searching through the history books, Zhu Yu found no records about the dream horse from ancient times. It was said that dream horses were born with prophetic qualities, and passing by a little horse would bring a small warning, often overlooked, but completely resisted when the warning came true. In the end, life in reality became too oppressive, and the dream horse abandoned its physical form, traversing through dreams to provide warnings to the little horses. They would not be found, and the little horses would only perceive it as a dream. Chapter 23. Goodbye to the 2 princesses after being startled awake by a nightmare. Zhu Yu felt very frustrated while searching for records about the dream horse. There were indeed very few relevant records. After giving herself a little pick-me-up spell, Zhu Yu decided to take a trip to Canterlot. Perhaps the royal archives would have some clues. Determined, Zhu Yu flashed to her residence in Canterlot. She sent a message to Princess Celestia and Princess Luna via a paper crane and headed towards the archives. In the archives, Zhu Yu flipped through the historical records, but there were only a few lines mentioning the dream horse. When the dream horse appears in your dream, be cautious of what happens next. It could be good or bad. Standing up from the table, Zhu Yu continued to search for other books. With a loud thud, a book accidentally fell to the ground. The pages scattered, spreading across the floor. Zhu Yu looked at the irregular patterns and words formed on the ground, pondering a bit. Teacher, why are you here? You didn't notify us in advance to pick you up. Luna's voice suddenly came from her side. Tia, Luna, something went wrong with my dream. I have this uneasy feeling, so I came to look for some information, Zhu Yu said, beckoning them over to look. Teacher, given your situation, you shouldn't be dreaming. Could it be the legendary one? Celestia remarked, looking at the scattered materials on the ground. The strange words were unique to the dream horse. Tia, can you understand these? Zhu Yu asked. My memory is still a bit fuzzy. It's been too long, and I can't recall anything without stimulation. Zhu Yu felt the panic in her heart expanding. Teacher, the realm of dreams was established by them. The ability I have to control dreams is also a gift from them, since they have started appearing in your dreams. I will help you keep an eye on them, Princess Luna said seriously. Though the combat ability of the dream horses is not strong, their powers cannot be underestimated. Then I'll rely on you, Luna. Under normal circumstances, I can see certain threads of fate. However, I rarely dream. My dreams also have predictive qualities. But I've never experienced a situation like today, Zhu Yu said while looking through the materials. No wonder the magic of little horses can't leave behind records and images of you. Even in this millennium, I have no way to find traces of you with magic. Celestia remarked as she copied the words and patterns from the materials. Now it's different, Tia. The stained glass window that shows my figure has already appeared again after the emergence of the elements of harmony defeating Nightmare Moon. I don't know if this is a good or bad omen, so you must be careful. Zhu Yu's words surprised both Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. Zhu Yu's existence was something that could not be recorded. If not for memories, this little horse would have been forgotten long ago. Teacher, you also need to be careful. I've discovered many strange phenomena in the dreams of the little horses. They don't have nightmares, yet there is a great deal of fear. The realm of dreams is becoming unsafe. Luna reported what she had found. Zhu Yu, come look at this. These materials record the last hope of the Dream Horse clan, which rests on a little horse in Ponyville. I can't understand the rest. When it was recorded, the population of the Dream Horse clan was already very small. They betrayed their princess and were punished, causing their numbers to continually decrease until they find redemption, and only then can the clan be liberated. Celestia read the seemingly prophetic words. The statue remained unresponsive as Zhu Yu watched helplessly as these desperate little horses gave up their pleas to the statue, abandoning their physical forms. What's wrong? Luna and Tia, why are you looking at me like that? Zhu Yu took a moment to calm down and noticed that Princess Celestia and Princess Luna were looking at her with strange expressions. Zhu Yu, look at your horn. Celestia handed her a mirror. Zhu Yu took the mirror and saw that her horn had changed to the same color as her mane, both a bluish-green, with blue golden patterns on the horn, looking particularly mysterious. That's beautiful, Zhu Yu said, enchanted. Teacher, is this change okay? Luna asked, a bit worried. It's fine. This is my original horn, Zhu Yu smiled broadly. The two sisters exchanged glances, feeling quite strange. In their existing memories, apart from disguises, Zhu Yu had always had a pure white body and a bluish-green mane. A little thought flashed through Zhu Yu's mind. Tia, are you going to visit Twilight in Ponyville in a few days? Zhu Yu suddenly asked. Yes, she is my most outstanding student. I miss her a bit. So I'll go see her, Celestia replied. Remember to bring some insect repellent. Zhu Yu thought about the creatures that had just appeared. Okay, Celestia replied, not understanding. Teacher, are you staying here for a day? Luna asked. I'm happy to help if I can, Princess Luna said softly. That's good. If anything comes up, remember to send a message with a paper crane. I'll borrow these few books for a few days, Zhu Yu said, putting the books away and looking at the two sisters. Teacher, be careful on the way, Celestia reminded her. Goodbye. Zhu Yu vanished in an instant. Luna, why did the teacher ask me to bring insect repellent? Could it be for Twilight to get rid of bugs? Celestia asked as she locked the archives. Sister, since the teacher said so, there must be her reasons. Bringing it along won't hurt. Just in case, Luna replied, also puzzled about Zhu Yu's request. Meanwhile, Zhu Yu borrowed the book and flashed to the door of Keela's house. Keela, are you home? She knocked on the door, and Keela came over and invited Zhu Yu inside. Keela, do you know about the Dream Horse? Or does your clan have any recorded materials? Zhu Yu knew that Keela had many books as well. The Dream Horse? Legends say they send greetings, and in the depths of dreams, they won't leave you any escape route, Keela said while searching for a book for Zhu Yu. So you know their news? Zhu Yu felt a bit excited. I once received a gift from the Dream Horse, but they only took a type of cloth from my clan. The ceremonial patterns made that cloth very special. Keela found a particularly thin book and handed it to Zhu Yu. Thank you, Keela. I'll borrow this book for a few days and return it after my research. Zhu Yu thanked her and left in a flash. Keela watched the place where Zhu Yu had disappeared, murmuring about the hope they were seeking that had already appeared. The Witchcraft of the Dream Horses. Chapter 24. The insect plague. The prophecies of the Dream Horse are generally about the future and cannot predict events from long ago. After researching for a day and a night, there was no substantial progress. Zhu Yu irritably rubbed her mane, feeling despondent as she rested her head on the table. Forget it. I won't think about it anymore. I might as well catch one and ask. Zhu Yu gave up. There was simply too little information about them. It would be faster to catch one directly in the dream and ask it clearly. They had appeared in the little pony's dream for about a week, which was enough time for her to find their traces. Zhu Yu used magic to copy a few books and place them on the table. Shortly after returning home, Squirrel Gigi took her to a small pavilion in the garden. There were a few squirrels arguing over a glass jar. You bad thing. Yes, yes. Why did you steal our food? Why don't you go find something to eat yourself? You have wings. Zhu Yu approached and heard their accusations. Gigi explained the situation. That flying little bug had come from who knows where. It had eaten all the fruits the squirrels had collected, and this little bug regurgitated its kind after eating. If it weren't for the presence of the swamp frog, Zhu Yu's little house would have been overrun. All right, little ones, don't be angry. Thank you all for your kindness. Next, I'll take care of this flying bug. Zhu Yu patted the little squirrels' heads to comfort them. After all, being robbed of food had really upset them. Zhu Yu picked up the transparent jar, which contained 2 round little bugs. Just looking at them, they were indeed very cute. but their reproductive ability was truly terrifying. Moreover, their speed and amount of food consumption were quite astonishing. Zhu Yu watched as the bug in the jar bumped around. And Ji said they had only left one behind, and now another had appeared. The bug in the jar looked especially dispirited after being handled by the little squirrels. And after Zhu Yu arrived, it rushed to stick to her. Zhu Yu entered the house and placed the jar on the table. You must promise to behave once you're out. If you cause any trouble, I won't be polite, Zhu Yu said seriously. The two flying bugs flitted around anxiously. And another thing, control your numbers and go find food for yourselves. Also, remember to apologize to the little squirrels. You ate other beings' food without permission. The two little bugs nodded up and down in agreement. Zhu Yu opened the lid and released them. As soon as they were let out, they joyfully circled around Zhu Yu. All right, I'll build you a little house on the side of the house, but remember not to disturb other creatures, Zhu Yu said, going to the left side of the house where there was still a lot of space, and only the groundhog and snake lived there. Zhu Yu built a beehive-shaped house at a position just below the second floor. The two little bugs flew around inside, and when they came out, they thanked Zhu Yu. They seemed very satisfied. Zhu Yu nodded, pleased with her creation. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The two little bugs shared some news with Zhu Yu. All right, I understand. You get familiar with everyone first. You'll inevitably help each other in the future. I'll handle this issue. Zhu Yu received an incredible piece of news. They said they had reproduced many of their kind at a nearby little pony's home, and some had been driven into the forest. They accidentally ate the squirrel's food after bumping into the barrier. However, there were still relatives left there. Oh my, we should have Tia bring some insect repellent. Ponyville might be overwhelmed by the flying bugs. Zhu Yu knocked on her head, thinking that if this group of little bugs had more food, the consequences would be unimaginable. At least in the forest, there were swamp frogs to control their numbers, but once they were brought indoors, it would be a serious problem. Zhu Yu quickly flashed to Ruru's little house. Everyone's here. I need to tell you something. Zhu Yu noticed she was blocking Ruru's path. Phew, Zhu Yu. You don't know how terrifying our recent experience was. Yun Bao wiped the sweat from her forehead, having just chased away a wave of bugs, feeling a bit tired. Did you drive a batch of bugs into the Eternal Freedom Forest? Zhu Yu asked helplessly. How did you know? Jinchi was surprised. Darlings, I live in the Eternal Freedom Forest, and the bugs you chased away just happened to enter my home. Zhu Yu spread her hooves, feeling both amused and exasperated. Then let's hurry to your house and deal with them. Those little guys are not to be underestimated. Applejack became anxious upon hearing this. They only wanted to solve the problem, not bring trouble to other ponies. No need. Don't worry, the little animals in my house have already dealt with them. Just that there is a bit less food. Applejack, I still need to order some apples from you to comfort them. Zhu Yu stopped everyone's movements, explaining. As long as nothing happened, otherwise our sins would be great. Ziyue said with relief. As long as we didn't bring trouble to Zhu Yu, that's good. Zhu Yu, the Cosmic Princess will be coming in a few days. Will you attend the welcome party? Ziyue invited Zhu Yu. Of course. And you all need to be careful of those bugs. It's said that no amount of food is enough for them. By the way, do you still have bugs that haven't been cleaned up? Zhu Yu asked at this moment, as her two little bugs had clearly said there were still relatives here. No, I scared them quite a bit when I woke up this morning. There's no way any could still be left. Yun Bao replied excitedly. God knows how scared I was when I woke up this morning. I don't have any here either. I originally thought they were cute and could even help me. But to be honest, their reproduction method disgusts me a bit. Jinchi covered her mouth, feeling a bit nauseated. The library is a mess because of this group of little bugs. It was just cleaned. I don't want the Cosmic Princess to see a messy library when she comes. Ziyue recalled the tragic state of the library. Ruru said nothing and slowly moved to the door. Swish, 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 as soon as Ruru opened the door. A large swarm of bugs rushed out, landing on everyone, especially a lot on Zhu Yu. Everyone was very angry, and Applejack's hat flew off in frustration. I'm sorry, everyone. They were just too cute. I couldn't help but keep one. A yellow flying bug landed on Ruru. We don't have time to chase them away anymore. The Cosmic Princess could arrive at any moment. Ziyue said anxiously. All right, everyone, we need to create a tornado. Yun Bao put on her goggles, flapping her wings. Yun Bao flew quickly in the air, forming a small tornado that sucked the bugs together. Great job, Yun Bao, Applejack exclaimed. Now our problem is solved. Ziyue felt relieved. Zhu Yu glanced at Ziyue, thinking it was too early to feel relieved. This method wouldn't work. Ding ding ding. Beaky walked over, clanging a pair of cymbals. Chapter 25. Beaky's special ability with this, it should be fine. Beaky was just saying when the cymbals were sucked away by Yun Bao's tornado. Hey, that's new. Give it back to me. The cymbals entered the tornado, and Yun Bao struggled to dodge. What is this? I can't hold on much longer. Yun Bao shouted. And then she was thrown out. Zhu Yu quickly caught Yunbao, and as the tornado dispersed, the symbols flew rapidly toward Zhu Yu. Oh my gosh! With a scream, Zhu Yu used magic to stop the symbols. Biki, here are your symbols. Zhu Yu handed them back to Biki. Thank you, Zhu Yu. Without the symbols, we wouldn't be able to deal with the flying bugs. Biki expressed her gratitude and gave a little clang. Biki, do you know how dangerous this is? Can you stop messing around? Ziyue was furious seeing Biki like this. We are trying to save Ponyville, and now you've messed everything up. Ziyue looked anxiously at the bugs that fell in the direction of Ponyville after the tornado dissipated. Me? I messed things up? The one who stirred up trouble is you guys. Biki retorted defiantly. Hey, do you know how to save Ponyville without instruments? Do you know how to deal with those pesky pixies? Come on, girls, it's hard to explain to her. Applejack said, leading the ponies towards Ponyville. Can't you let me finish my sentence? It's your fault for causing trouble. Pinkie Pie shouted. Sigh, when will they ever change this habit? Pinkie clearly knows how to handle this situation, Bamboo Moon thought to herself, letting out a sigh. Pinkie, are there any instruments left to find? I'll help you. Bamboo Moon walked over to Pinkie. As a point of friendship with Ziyue, she decided to not interfere too much. Helping to find instruments is still acceptable. That would be great, Bamboo Moon. I still need the flute, saxophone, and maracas. If you can help me find those, I know where the others are. Pinkie told Bamboo Moon about a few instruments that she hadn't found yet. Look, are these okay? Bamboo Moon rummaged through her small space and pulled out the instruments Pinkie mentioned. Yes, that's it. Where did you get these? Never mind that. I need to go get the other instruments, Pinkie said as she was about to leave. Hey, wait, what instruments do you need? Let me see if I have them. So you don't have to make another trip. Bamboo Moon stopped Pinkie. She had quite a few instruments in her space too. Pinkie wasn't too polite with Bamboo Moon and listed more than 10 types of instruments back and forth. Coincidentally, Bamboo Moon had exactly what she needed. That's awesome, Bamboo Moon. I should have just come to you in the first place. Now let us go save Ponyville. Pinkie was loaded with instruments as they headed towards Ponyville. When they entered Ponyville, Pinkie started to play. Listening to the music, Bamboo Moon thought Pinkie was really impressive. She could single-handedly support an entire band. When Bamboo Moon saw the devastated streets, she felt like her understanding was a bit off. The whole street was littered with scattered food, and many buildings were damaged. It was clear that some pixies were still gnawing on shop signs, ponies' clothes, and even tables and chairs. Bamboo Moon, please help. I just wanted to stop them from eating food. I didn't expect it to turn into this. Ziyue rushed to Bamboo Moon with a worried face. Pinkie said, These are pixies. Do you have any way to make them stop? Ziyue's voice was tinged with tears. Ziyue, you were warned early on, and you didn't listen to the methods available, which caused the current situation. You need to reflect on this, Bamboo Moon said seriously, lifting Ziyue's face. Ziyue had never seen such a serious Bamboo Moon and nodded repeatedly. The other ponies were too scared to make a sound. I can make them return to eating food. And the rest will depend on Pinkie. After saying that, Bamboo Moon cast a spell that restored the pixie's habit of eating. But now, Ponyville was already in ruins. Pinkie? What can she do? Rainbow Dash said, hiding behind Applejack, confused. Oh no, the Cosmic Princess's entourage is coming. Ziyue heard the music at that moment. Following the sound, Ziyue saw Pinkie. Pinkie, what are you doing messing around at a time like this? Ziyue's tone shifted from anger to disbelief. As Pinkie played music, the pixies bounced along behind her. The other ponies stood behind Bamboo Moon, peeking at this phenomenon. Thus, this scene appeared on the streets. Pinkie was playing music in front. A group of pixies bouncing in the middle, followed by the other ponies. As they reached the entrance to the Eternal Freedom Forest, everyone saw the Cosmic Princess. Look, the Cosmic Princess has arrived. Ziyue screamed, pointing to where the Cosmic Princess landed. The 5 ponies, including Ziyue, rushed ahead of Pinkie to greet the princess. Bamboo Moon slowly followed behind the pixies, ensuring none of them slipped away. Ziyue, my most excellent student. The Cosmic Princess sounded very excited. Hello, Princess, Ziyue greeted. Feeling a bit awkward. I'm so glad to see you and your friends again. The Cosmic Princess was very happy, startled by a sudden sound. The Cosmic Princess looked towards the music and saw Pinkie in front, Bamboo Moon behind, and a group of bouncing pixies in the middle. Bamboo Moon smiled at the Cosmic Princess, and the Cosmic Princess understood. These little insects are so cute, Ziyue. Thank you and the citizens of Ponyville for preparing this wonderful parade. The Cosmic Princess praised, looking at the pixies that had landed on her wings. They're not as cute as they appear, Rainbow Dash quietly remarked from behind Rarity. Oh, right, the parade. Ziyue suddenly had an idea and continued from the Cosmic Princess's words. However, I'm sorry. I might need to come back to Ponyville next time because there's an emergency in Ponyville and I need to handle it. I've heard that those annoying little bugs have caused a pest disaster there. The Cosmic Princess raised her eyebrows. A pest disaster? Ziyue couldn't believe it. Bamboo Moon didn't hear the rest, concentrating on the pixies to ensure they all entered the forest. Later, Bamboo Moon heard Ziyue reporting to the Cosmic Princess. Well, at least they were reflecting on themselves. Everyone also apologized to Pinky. Although many times they didn't understand Pinky, they had deepened their connections through this event. Not long after the pixie incident, Ziyue had a question for Bamboo Moon. Why didn't the pixies stay at Keela's house? Just this matter made Ziyue determined to start brushing up on her knowledge of plants and animals. Suilong was worried about her mental state. Chapter 26 News of the Dream Horse Today's weather is very nice, with clear blue skies. Bamboo Moon leisurely walked in the forest. The birds chirped and greeted each other. Occasionally one would bring a flower. Bamboo Moon wove the flowers into her mane, and her long ponytail made her look very gentle. At this moment, a paper crane from the Moon Princess appeared in front of her. Teacher, come quickly to Canterlot. We've discovered traces of the dream horse. It was written on the blue-purple letter. Bang! Bamboo Moon vanished from the spot, startling the birds in the trees. Canterlot. Sister, do you think the teacher will receive my message? The Moon Princess looked out the window, her words tinged with anxiety. Don't worry, sister. Your paper crane magic was personally taught by the teacher. There's no way she wouldn't find it. The Cosmic Princess waved her hoof, signaling the Moon Princess to sit down and rest for a while. The Moon Princess occasionally glanced outside, afraid of missing any information from Bamboo Moon. Hi, Tia Luna. I'm here. Bamboo Moon teleported directly in front of the Moon Princess. Teacher, the Moon Princess was very surprised. What's the news? You used a paper crane to send me a message. Bamboo Moon asked without any courtesy. Teacher, look at this. It's what Luna caught in the pony's dreams. But we still haven't figured out what the substance is. The Cosmic Princess handed Bamboo Moon a transparent glass jar. This thing seems to be the residue of magical silk used by the dream horse to collect emotions. Bamboo Moon examined the swirling magical residue in the jar. Such dreamy colors. Luna, you found this in a good dream, didn't you? Bamboo Moon asked. Indeed. Usually I only go to the nightmares. That day was strange. Inexplicably, I entered a dream with good dreams. What is stranger is that I don't remember how I came out when I entered again. I only saw this pink airflow left in the pony's dream. Luna said. She had never encountered such a situation. My sister and I have been studying this magic these days. When Luna touched it, there was no reaction, but she would lose consciousness. When I touched it, I would fall asleep directly. It might be the magic of the unicorn that prevents me from sleeping too long, so I didn't find any other conditions. Similarly, we also looked for other ponies. At that moment, the Cosmic Princess showed a strange expression on her face. What happened? Ziyue asked curiously. Whether it's unicorns, earth ponies, or Pegasi, anyone who touches them will fall into a beautiful dream and sleep for a long time. The Lunar Princess continued the unfinished words of the Cosmic Princess. It seems that the dream horse's memory of using emotions as food has not been compromised. Different emotions will be used by them in different places. Luna, your ability is a talent influenced by the emotions they gifted, so it won't be affected. Tia, you are completely fine because you are the sun under the sunlight. The power of dreams will be very weak. The night is the main stage for dreams. Ziyue stroked her chin. The Cosmic Princess looked at Ziyue in surprise. Her teacher really knew a lot. Luna, don't worry. There is nothing wrong with this beautiful dream. Sometimes they will send out the good emotions they collect so that the little ponies can feel their own talents. Otherwise, how would so many little ponies discover their cute marks after having perfect dreams? Ziyue rolled her eyes. The dream horses send emotions completely based on their mood. What are you talking about, Luna? This is a great clue. I can now be sure they are up to something. Ziyue smiled. The smile made the Cosmic Princess and the Lunar Princess feel a chill. The two sisters involuntarily shivered. Whenever their teacher showed that expression, it meant that some ponies were going to have bad luck. Tia, I'll take this jar. If there's any news, you and Luna pass me a paper crane. And remember to stay safe. Ziyue put away the jar. I'm off now, bye. After saying that, Ziyue disappeared from the spot. Sister, I think the teacher's smile seems even scarier. The Lunar Princess rubbed her goosebumps. Luna, now we should be worried about the mischievous ponies. The Cosmic Princess made the same gesture. It seems this smile left a deep impression on them. Casting a small spell. Looking at the jar, Ziyue smiled a bit lewdly. Zizi, who originally came in to talk to Ziyue about the fairy fly, was scared by Ziyue's smile and didn't dare to stay longer. Can you imagine a pony that looks particularly gentle wearing a strange smile? Zizi ran to the garden, quickly shaking off the images in her head. Ziyue stretched her body, flashed, and arrived at the candy house. Beaky, I'm here. Huh, Ziyue? And Apple Lily, the little cutie? You're all here. When Ziyue arrived at the candy house, she found Apple Lily was also there. She and Biki were learning to bake a cake, while Ziwa looked pale, standing aside and panting. Hi, Ziwa. Thank you for coming to help me. I'm so excited to throw a cute mark party for this group of little ones today. Biki rubbed Apple Lily's head and said, Biki, you don't have to be so polite. I'm happy to help you. Ziwa said as she cast a healing spell on Ziwa. Ziwa, you should take a break. Biki dragged Ziwa upstairs to rest. After all, Ziwa didn't he look well. Sister Ziwa, hello. Apple Lily's tone was quite low. Dear Apple Lily, tell your sister, what is making you look so gloomy? This expression doesn't suit a little sunshine. Ziwa wiped the flour off Apple Lily's face and asked, Sister Ziwa, you said before that my cute mark would surprise me. Can it come out early now? Apple Lily tilted her little head and asked, Why? The cute mark is the talent of the ponies, you know that. Why are you especially anxious today? Ziwa squatted down to meet Apple Lily's gaze. I just want to get my cute mark sooner. Today's party is for the ponies in class to celebrate their cute marks. But I'm the only one in class without a cute mark. And I'll be laughed at by them. Tears filled Apple Lily's eyes. Little cutie, look at me. You know my secret. Do you trust what I say? Ziwa wiped away Apple Lily's tears. Apple Lily looked at Ziwa and nodded. I absolutely trust you, Sister Ziwa. I told you. Your cute mark will surprise you and is very special. How about this? Let us think from another angle. Ziwa tilted her head. Since you don't have a cute mark yet, can you still look forward to the surprise it will bring you? Apple Lily nodded. Your life has just begun. There will be many opportunities for you to find your talent, right? Apple Lily nodded again. If there are other ponies with the same experience as you, would you feel a little happier? Ziwa changed the subject. Probably, but I'm the only one in class without a cute mark. Apple Lily's emotions stabilized a bit. How about this? I'll tell you something. Ziwa leaned close to Apple Lily's ear and whispered something. Apple Lily was surprised while Ziwa just smiled mysteriously. Then, Ziwa began teaching Apple Lily how to make food bit by bit. Chapter 27, The Cute Brigade. Sister Ziwa, thank you, Apple Lily said softly. Apple Lily's emotions completely recovered. She even felt a bit happy. Time flowed slowly amidst the aroma of the cake. The cute party began. Apple Lily followed Ziwa, her nervous heart slightly relaxed. Apple Lily, you're here. I heard that your friend got a cute mark and was worried you wouldn't come. I'm so glad you figured it out. Applejack walked over to Ziwa and said, looking at Apple Lily with relief. Ha ha ha, Silver. Look, Apple Lily really dared to come. As the only pony at the party without a cute mark. Ha ha ha, her little bottom is all bare. At that moment, a pony wearing a crown, with a cute mark also in the shape of a crown, and dressed in a cute dress laughed. Ha ha, Tiara, you're right. Beside her, another pony wearing glasses, with a cute mark shaped like a silver spoon, chimed in. The surrounding ponies and bigger ponies heard it and whispered among themselves, occasionally glancing at Apple Lily. Apple Lily lowered her head in embarrassment, tears welling up in her eyes. Ziwa patted Apple Lily's little head and stood in front of her. A sharp gaze swept across the ponies present. Ziwa hated this kind of atmosphere. Those two ponies were clearly making Apple Lily uncomfortable. The ponies that were swept by Ziwa's gaze instantly fell silent, not daring to breathe. What? Go on. Let me see who among you has never been laughed at for not having a cute mark? Ziwa's voice was not loud, but it reached every pony's ears. Leading the taunting of a little pony, you really have some nerve. Ziwa's sarcastic voice echoed throughout the candy house. Who are you? This is my party. I didn't invite you. Why are you speaking for Apple Lily? She doesn't have a cute mark. Tiara bravely stepped forward to Ziwa. Little one. No one is born with a cute mark. Apple Lily still has many opportunities to try. Why can't I speak for her? Ziwa retorted. Since you don't welcome me, I won't stay too long. I hope you can understand what your cute mark represents. Ziwa looked at the little pony in front of her and patted Apple Lily's head. Sorry, Biki, I'll leave now. Everyone continue with the party. Ziwa glanced at Tiara and didn't say anything more. With a flash, she disappeared from the spot. After Ziwa left, the candy house fell silent for a moment. Then many ponies continued to whisper. Apple Lily felt that not having a cute mark was not such a big deal when Ziwa stood up. Now she just stood by the table in a daze. What that sister just said was really right. So what if I don't have a cute mark? At that moment, a little Pegasus stepped forward, her voice not loud, followed by a little unicorn. There is no cute mark, just a little bare bottom. She has no cute mark, which proves she is not special at all. Silver stood next to the dazed Tiara, mocking Applejack. No, you're wrong. The absence of a cute mark actually proves that she has untapped talent. The little unicorn walked over to Applejack. She could excel at anything. Perhaps she would become a famous merchant, writer, teacher, or something else. Before getting a cute mark, she has infinite possibilities. The little Pegasus argued neatly. Unlike you all who, after getting your cute marks, don't develop your already fixed talents and instead mock the ponies with potential the unicorn added. The excitement in Applejack's eyes had turned into something tangible. Hearing the laughter from other ponies, Tiara snapped back to reality. Hey, this is my party. Why are you speaking up for her? Tiara fumed. Of course, we don't have cute marks either, the little unicorn and the little Pegasus said in unison. At the same time, everyone saw their bare bottoms without cute marks. You also don't have cute marks? I thought I was the only one in school. What Bamboo Moon said is true. Applejack was very happy, so excited that she screamed. We thought it was just the two of us without cute marks. The little Pegasus said. I think you three are very lucky ponies. While everyone else has cute marks, you can still feel the surprise of getting your own cute marks. That's really a special thing, Purple Joy said as she stepped forward. Purple Joy's words made the other young ponies eagerly gather around Applejack, asking her what careers she might pursue in the future. Hello, I'm Dazzling Lulu, the little Pegasus introduced herself. Hello, Honey Baby, the little unicorn also introduced herself. Hello, I'm Applejack, she replied, feeling very happy. What Bamboo Moon told her about meeting like-minded friends turned out to be true. You know, I was thinking, we're friends now, right? Applejack said to the three little ones gathered at the corner table. Of course, we're so alike, all without cute marks. And all mocked by Tiara and Silver, Dazzling Lulu said, glancing at the pair at the foot of the stairs who were secretly watching them. Being mocked feels terrible. But now that we're friends, it must be making them mad. Honey Baby said playfully. Since the three of us are friends now, why don't we work together to find our talents? Applejack proposed, feeling excited to find companions. Wow, then we can establish our own secret organization. Honey Baby suggested excitedly. I love your idea. What should we name our organization? Dazzling Lulu fluttered her little wings. Super cute and beautiful group. Honey Baby came up with a long name. The Cute Three Musketeers? Dazzling Lulu thought. How about calling it the Cute Legion? Applejack suddenly had a flash of inspiration. This name was unanimously approved by the three little ones. Hey, follow me. I want to introduce you to a little pony, Applejack said, pulling Honey Baby and Dazzling Lulu, who were stuffing cake into their mouths, out of the candy house. Applejack slowed down. Dazzling Lulu swallowed the particularly delicious cake in her mouth and shouted, Wait for us. Honey Baby swallowed her cake and chased after her. After running for a short while, they saw Applejack sitting next to the unicorn who had stood up for her at the previous party. Come here quickly. Applejack waved her hooves at them. Bamboo Moon saw two more little ponies and called the waiter to order more sandwiches and milkshakes. Honey Baby and Dazzling Lulu sat somewhat awkwardly opposite Bamboo Moon. During the party, Bamboo Moon's aura was so strong that they didn't dare to rush out to defend Applejack at first.